from the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to the Little Bitty Baby Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman. To my left, sniffle free.
Well, you know I am, aren't I?
Yeah, Rob Thompson. Let's hear it for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. Vic across the glass. Vic, how you doing, baby? How's that kidney?
It's doing good.
All right. All right. How's the other one?
It's gone.
You don't know. You don't know. You don't.
Set.
It doesn't write you letters or anything. Be like, hey, I'm okay.
It's in a jar on a shelf somewhere.
It's a science exhibit.
Yeah.
I'm dog food. Why'd you let me go?
I don't know, man.
No.
It's
He's
gone.
what if. He's what happens if.
Yeah.
This is what your kidneys look like, kids, if you treat them this badly.
That's right.
That's right.
But while we're sniffle-free, Vic and I were comparing symptoms from our cold. And every now and then,
Yeah, I'll cough up a lung.
man, there's still some residual to this. So if for some reason we disappeared during the show, that's our excuse.
All right. I think we're gonna power through.
Dude,
we're gonna gut it out just like the Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna gut it out to the bitter end.
Hey, I just pulled something. I just felt something I've never felt before. I don't think I'm gonna make it to the end, AJ. I just pulled something. Doesn't feel right. This part I'm feeling things I never felt before, AJ.
Yeah, something feels weird in my cockles.
Something in my solar plexus went weird, dude. As an Aggie and a Cowboy, and
Let's not start sad, right?
no,
Let's not
I'm
start
not
the weekend
sad.
sad.
Let me tell you,
No.
there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a rainbow after the storm. There's good things in the offing. It's just a matter of time.
Okay.
Just everybody bear with it. Tonight we're gonna get a little chill in the air. You're gonna wake up on
that's right.
Tuesday. You're gonna start feeling a little fallish, and everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
So just everybody hang on.
It rained this weekend.
We got some nourishing rain.
Yeah.
Just enough to.
Oh, the grass at my apartment complex is so nourished right now.
Isn't it? It's been what was like 66 days without rain.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's those little things that make life worth living.
That's right. That's right.
And an example of that is today begins college basketball.
that is true also.
So for some of us, it's a high holy day. For some of us, it means a lot.
It means a lot of work coming up for me to try to make some money.
You know, I don't have any. See, I have no vested interest. This
You
is
just
a
watch it for the love of
glorious
the game.
day. I love it.
You're the exact opposite of me. I really don't like college basketball, but I follow it way too closely, just because I think it's a beatable game for financial purposes. You watch it for the love.
Yes.
That's
the glory of sport.
yeah.
Before it was
God bless
tainted
you, man.
by the sins of gambling and whatnot.
Well, you mean before it was kept afloat?
Well, well, it certainly helped in the international soccer world. I can tell you that.
Oh man, yeah. It was a hell of a weekend. Hell of a weekend, friends. Hell of a weekend. If you're a Cowboy fan, you know.
And what did you expect? If you're a Cowboy fan, really? Did you expect to roll into Atlanta and to beat them? Did you really dream it was possible?
Maybe.
Did you really, in your heart of hearts, wake up Sunday morning knowing it was a noon kickoff?
So I played in that big poker tournament, that $50K guarantee. Which, by the way, the prize pool ended up being $73,000, not $50,000, $73,000.
Golly.
Yeah. I made the final day. I got $500. Not quite. First place got $12K. I wanted that so bad.
That's a good weekend.
I would,
you'd have to buy
bro,
tacos.
hell yeah. I might have bought a taco truck. Just parked it outside.
Go get it.
Yeah. And I would have let your video gamer son come work it every morning.
Man.
What we need now is a tamale truck.
Or I would have gotten your son a job. Your son would have been running my taco truck. You're full-timer, baby. You just got to be here. My truck's open 4 hours a day from 6 to 10.
Tamales to go.
All you got to do is cook whatever we ask you to, Bubba.
I'm down.
I'm wanting tamales. I'm starting to get into it. So, yeah, let's start selling tamales.
Oh,
Gotta go win Daddy a taco truck.
Yeah.
Need a tamale.
But what a rough one. I did actually think the Cowboys could have won that game until they started playing it, and then I was like, oh my god,
Gosh, really? I mean, I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying, as Cowboy fan, it was going to be difficult at best. It was less than 50.
Of course, it was going to be difficult. I mean, they were underdogs.
But to be so absolutely inept, and it's not about your skill, and I understand injuries. It's the stupid bleep. It's the little things that you go, you guys just suck out loud. It's not that that luck has turned the tide and you're fighting valiantly because you're underskilled and overpaid at certain positions. It's that you're just bad. You're just dumb. And when you're dumb, it's hard to have any pity. You get mad at dumb.
Yeah. Like you are, you say this a lot. You are what your record says you are. Mm-hmm. And the Cowboys they've had a bye week, but they're real close to the,
I think we've hit it, AJ. We were talking pre-show. I think, alcoholics will tell you about or anybody who's reached the bottom of whatever demon has been chasing them, that they have a moment of clarity.
So we have rock bottom now.
Where you hit rock bottom and you go, this is about it.
Yeah.
Nowhere else to go.
I don't know what could be worse.
You ain't a lot different from the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Quite frankly.
We're not the Titans.
So at 3-5, Carolina Panthers are 2-7.
Yes.
Just to put that into perspective, Carolina Panthers are 2-7.
Be realistic as we go through today, and we are going to have an opportunity for the next 4 hours to really look in detail as to why the Cowboys are so bad. But when you get to the end of that story, who's worse? Right now, name a worse football team in the NFL.
None.
No,
seriously.
The Panthers are worse.
Well, I mean, at least the Panthers are strolling out with. They're at least executing, I think.
Is there a run game better?
At least we have maybe 6 less pre-snap penalties. At least they're capable of going to the line of scrimmage and snapping the ball appropriately more often than not.
You know
How's
what?
their run game?
Let's make Cowboy fan feel better here.
Okay.
You're better than the Giants.
Well, there is that.
Oh yeah. Ta-da!
You're better than the Giants.
If you ain't better than them, who are you better than? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Dude, it's so bad. But yeah, I, as a longtime Cowboy fan, we've all been here. We've all seen the end. And then we get to, we'll see the corpse is going to get kicked this weekend.
You think it just gets worse from here?
Oh. Did you, I think Philadelphia is coming to Dallas bringing at least one of the Avengers.
Yeah,
that guy.
Man. Who is that dude? Yeah, I relooked at the Cowboys' schedule last night as they hit about the halfway point here at 3-5, and as I went through it, I was like, I see 2 wins that are. I mean, if you don't win those games, I don't know if you can get on the bus.
What's the point, AJ?
That's the question.
Now it's kind of like, all right, do we wave the white flag now? Or do we really try hard this week and we all give the valiant, this is not it, that's not us, and go in and manage to beat Philadelphia? When all you're doing now is giving up ping pong balls.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that in the literal sense. You're giving up games as you're chasing.
Well, you're giving up draft position.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're giving up games as you're chasing, I guess, a quarterback. I don't know. You know what I'm
you're
saying?
Not getting a quarterback.
What exactly you're chasing, I don't know.
You've got the highest paid quarterback in the world.
Yeah. So what you're looking for, a running back, I guess, that you'll overdraft?
Imagine having the highest paid quarterback in the world.
And need a quarterback.
And then imagine having the highest paid non-quarterback in the world.
And need a linebacker.
And you just suck. I sent you guys this in the group chat. I don't read lips, but it looked like V. Fergan Zuck.
Oh, no, he cussed.
Oh, did he?
Oh, that was I hired an expert, my wife,
Uh-huh.
and I was,
Yeah.
that was Fargan. He said
Yeah.
Fargan.
Well, that's too bad, Dak. That's not
That's not what you say in pleasant company. He's right.
Yeah,
least
but
he
you're not
has
supposed to say it out loud, are you?
Man, oh man. You know, what do you do when you see the end? Seriously, what do you do? And they always talk about a measure of a man when you've reached the bottom, but that's about what you do for yourself. This is a team. What do you do for your team when you've reached the bottom?
You know,
You leave.
what's funny is going into the game yesterday, the Bengals were 3-5, and you see what they did, and like you could see they still have fight in them. The Cowboys don't feel like they've got any fight.
I think CeeDee Lamb showed a little bit of fight, trying to show the rest of the team what it looked like to fight. I think he did his damnedest. Just I can't imagine why he gave like he gave last night. You know,
It's funny because I feel so much better about that signing for the Cowboys than I do the Dak signing.
You know, there's this legend, and I've never been able to verify that it's true, although I've heard it from two separate sources, that way back when Jimmy and Jerry were first getting things going and there wasn't a whole lot around, they just went 1-13, whatever it was, and Jerry was trying to turn the team around, and he was going to trade Michael Irvin to the Raiders. And Al Davis said, brother, do not trade that guy. He's the heart of your team. If you trade him, you're going to lose the heart and soul of your team. Now, I'll take the deal. But if you make the deal, you're going to set yourself back. Do not trade Michael Irvin. And you get the sense that CeeDee Lamb is starting to take that Michael Irvin role.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to kill me to lose. You know, literally, I will die if I have to win a football game. And you kind of get that sense from CD. Do you get that from anybody else on that football team? And
No.
I'm not defaming everybody. That's not in everybody. But Michael Irvin was like that.
What's fun? What's maybe sad about that point is they're still losing.
Yeah. They're so far away from being fully functional. I mean, we haven't
How many times did Michael
scheme.
Irvin lose 5 games in a season?
Well, I mean, he did. I mean,
Not
they went
very
1-13. I mean, there is a bottom, but
Yeah.
there is. But to pull yourself out, it takes leaders. It takes guys that are like, I refuse to accept it, not only from myself but from you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there needs to be a little bit more of that. Maybe that's why Zeke wasn't on that airplane, which I do think is a bigger part in a bigger part of what's going on behind the scenes with the Cowboys. This team's a mess.
All right, we'll talk about that in detail as the day goes on. We've got, dude, this is the busiest show I can remember in some time because we got a little bit of everything to discuss. But we'll look into that Zeke thing, and we'll look into the Cowboy. We'll keep looking into the Cowboys next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on the northeast side. We've got an accident 35 northbound. It's right as you approach Pat Booker Road. It's a 20-minute delay as you stop and go from O'Connor. 1604 northbound, I-10 to 35, a solid 25-minute commute, and 30-minute commute, 1604 westbound, I-10 over to 281. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran-owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesometix.com.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Can you dig it?
Come into any Ewald Kubota dealer and dig the savings on the full line of Kubota excavators. Like 0%, 0 down for 48 months. Plus, save up to $10,000 off. Come see us. Kubota deals are here. Kubota deals are now.
Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
You invited Dak and Coop over to the house. What mama cooked?
She never disappoints.
Well, what was the meal? We're really curious.
Well, she had the local pizza, salads, pasta dish, chicken.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Ah, yes. Dallas loses a tight one on the scoreboard, at least, right? I mean, they barely lost. 27-21, one-score game.
They were in it till the very end.
That's right,
to
Bubba.
Mr. Cooper Rush.
Coop.
It was late game heroics.
When it got, there was a Jalen touchdown. You know, it was a 2-point conversion. Just,
He did. I mean, he didn't look worse than Dak.
No,
you know what I mean? It wasn't like there was a drop off. Not that there isn't, but at least yesterday, the offense was bad with both quarterbacks.
Okay, let's talk about the bright side real quick. No turnovers.
We will give them that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what McCarthy's been saying is like, you know, the turnovers are killing us. You can't give the ball away. They won the turnover battle. It feels, I don't know how, I could look it up. I don't know how many times they've won the turnover battle this year. It hasn't been many.
No.
So that was a big deal. The penalties continue to be an issue. 9 penalties on the Cowboys, only 4 on the Falcons. And the little kind of dirty secret, I guess, is that the Cowboys' offensive line is just not good.
No.
And I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon. Like,
no, there's nothing. There's no cavalry riding over to save them.
No.
The only thing that's going to help this is an influx of talent and reps for the kids. That's the only thing that's going to save this line.
And it's hard to say this out loud, but Zach Martin is now part of the problem.
Yeah, he's done.
And you've just gotten to this weird point where there's not really a man on that offensive line you can look at and go, yeah, I really trust that dude out there. He's very solid.
No, I mean, you see the future. Guyton's going to be all right. Center's going to be all right. Steele's serviceable, if not great. So you see, it's not like they're bereft. They're in the transition, but the Hall of Famer is done. And the Hall of Famer is a Hall of Famer because he did what he was supposed to do with his job as well as you could possibly do it. And then he helped out the other guy.
Yeah.
And now you don't get either. So you lost the interior control. You don't have Zach Martin opening holes for you anymore. You have weak edge. You can't really hold the edge on either side. And it's obvious in the offense. So we can be mad at Dak, and Dak has got his own problems, but he has certainly been under duress.
I'm looking up the PFF grades for these guys to see.
There's a reason why McCarthy's throwing his tablet down. There's a reason why we've got 12 men on the field. It is the ship is sinking, and you can't address every problem, so you only half-ass all the problems.
So of the tackles in the NFL per PFF, Terrence Steele, 52nd.
Which, actually.
And Tyler Guyton, 61st.
See, and he was as low as like 84th but in the last couple of weeks. His play actually is improving.
So that's of 72 qualified tackles. Now, at guard, you have Tyler Smith, 14th.
And like I said, kids need reps and an influx of new dudes with some experience to replace the guys that are getting older.
And Zach Martin is 33rd.
Which, in the grand scheme, doesn't sound awful, but it's a shadow of what he was.
You expected him to be like your anchor on this thing.
Yeah, like we said, he did all of his job and part of another guy's. And now you're not getting either one.
And Cooper Beebe's 23rd of centers.
See, I mean, you can see that there's a lot of problems. This is one of them, but this is one of the ones that time will fix if you just address it, kinda. You know, you got three guys there that if you
time
do it
ain't
right,
fixing Zach Martin.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you got three guys there that you know aren't going anywhere. BB's staying, Guyton's staying, and you get the sense Steele's going to be there for a minute. That's three dudes that ain't going nowhere that are okay, if not good. But this is not a line that you're going to win with. It's not there yet, and it was evident yesterday. The team wasn't Atlanta last in sacks or something close to it, and they were getting beat on not blitzes. These were just straight up man on man. So yeah, moment of clarity, maybe. You realize where you are. I have a feeling that McCarthy was very well aware of that, but right now it's not going to get much better. And like you said, 2 potential wins. Although I don't think they're going to be favored in the game from here on out.
They'll be favored against the Giants.
Oh, there is the Giants at home.
And they'll be favored. They've got one more. Who do they play? They've got one more bummy team on their
Dak
schedule.
Prescott is out
at Carolina.
Oh, there's Carolina. There's always Carolina. We can look back fondly on Pittsburgh and look forward to Carolina. If Dak's out for any length of time, things get really bad.
While I'm here at PFF, if you filter by run defense, the Cowboys have the 32nd graded run defense in the league. That would be out of 32. And they are the 28th best tackling team. Those aren't good numbers.
Do we blame Zimmer for this?
They are the 28th best pass blocking team. Also not good. So, I mean, they're just everywhere. They're just not good.
Yeah, they're bad. That's a bad football team.
And
moment of clarity.
Yeah, I early on it's like, oh, okay, bad game here, bad game there. There's nothing good coming. Like they're just not good. And that, it happens. It's just this was unexpected.
Well, no, it was not unexpected.
Did you expect him to be bad?
We knew, as we have said from the get-go, you are not ready for this season. You did not address the problems. And what do you have? The worst running team in football, the worst defensive running team in football, and we told you, look, your defensive line needs help. Muzzy Smith ain't the answer. If D-Law gets hurt, there's nothing behind it. Micah Parsons' contract year, things could get weird. We told you it was going to happen. Get a running back. Work on your defensive line. You didn't do it. We saw it coming, and it's worst case scenario. It's worse than even the worst naysayers said it was.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I did not see it being this. I just didn't. So, it's one of those things where when we were out at camp, I was like, yeah, the idea that this team is a Super Bowl contender seems a little out there to me. But even at my bottom expectation, I didn't think that they would just suck, and they kind of suck.
Yeah, this is a team that should know what they're doing more than they do. And it just seems like they don't know what they're doing. There seems no adequate plan to make up for the injuries and the lack of depth. There just wasn't an idea. And I continue to pose the question, how much blame does Zimmer get on this? My gosh. I mean, there's bad, but this is beyond bad. 32nd? I mean, how hard is it?
Yeah. Oh, you want to hear, speaking of Mozzie? Interior defenders grades, interior defensive linemen. There are 122 qualified defenders. Where do you think Mozzie ranks?
Well, I'm hoping he was looking sternly at a 110.
How about 122?
He is literally the worst.
The worst. Dead last.
We told you, Jerry.
Dead last.
But he's getting better every week. Zimmer's looking forward to putting him back in a better position because every week he's showing flashes of what we saw at Michigan.
Dead last. Linval Joseph is 102.
Well, we got our eye on Linval.
Linval Joseph makes Mozzie look like
We're taking out 122. Linval, better keep your head on a swivel. We're coming for you.
How wild is that? And Osa is 72.
Well, there you go.
That's your prize pig right there.
Now Hendrickson's turned out okay.
What a mess.
So I'm curious if for those out there, what do you do today? If you are going to be realistic and look at the rest of the season, do you wave the white flag? Is it time to evaluate talent? Is it time for?
I say this, and I'm not even kidding. I would trade Micah Parsons.
Well, that's going to be the question. As we face a trade deadline and you're looking at a sinking ship, who is most expendable? Who can you get the most for? And is anybody for sale? I think that's we heard Jerry. I don't believe him. I don't believe that he's going to be active. He said that to us in the past. Maybe to prove a point, he will make some kind of deal. But he says he'll be more active than they even intimated on Thursday. Even as Steven talked, it didn't seem like they were going to be active. But Jerry postgame acted as if they might be open to opportunity.
I would do it.
So you trade Micah?
I would. I would because let's say you re-sign him to the biggest defensive contract in history, which that would be what's next. What's different about next year?
That's an answer I don't have for you. That's a big old matzo ball to hang out there. I mean, we're talking about when healthy and
I agree.
Self-actualized.
I think he's the best player on the team. I do. But I also think that what's the point of having that guy if your offense is broken and you can't change anything about your offense? Like, your defense isn't good enough to make up for what the offense has been.
I agree that Micah, when you think of in the grand scheme of things, but I also know the kind of game wrecker he can be when his offense helps him.
The question, the reason why I say him is,
I get
he's the only one who you could get real.
Well, I beg to differ there. I think Trayvon Diggs might holds some value, and at least with Trayvon, there's a dollar amount attached to him. Right now, Micah, I don't know what he's worth. I mean, is this season going to make it easier for me to get him? Because we haven't had a lot of production.
You're going to pay what the rate is, which is the highest paid pass rusher in the world.
And it might be that he's worth that.
He might be, but to me, do you want to have the highest paid pass rusher in the world on a 6-11 team?
Well, on this one, yeah. But the only reason I counter that is I seen my guy, my talent department, my talent acquisition, Will McClay and those guys, they ain't good at a lot of stuff, but they tend to find offensive linemen and they tend to find defensive backs. You know, we seem to have guys year after year that can do this. And it seems like Deron Bland might be the next guy. And I got Trayvon Diggs, who seems a bit overpaid right about now, and that's a more movable piece to me. And I wouldn't get as much as I would for Micah, for sure. But my gosh, you know, when we said goodbye to DeMarcus way back when, we was kind of set him free to go get a title. You know, You've done all you can. But that left such a hole in the team. I mean, you're looking back on what that meant, what he meant to that team. Micah, I think, has that same kind of center post, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. They're going to kind of follow along with Micah's mentality. And, man, a good Micah's a pretty good thing to have around.
I agree.
Man, it would hurt, but how much, you know, so does ripping a Band-Aid off. I know clarity's here, but if I'm Jerry, I'm a fool if I'm not taking offers, you know?
You have to at least listen, man.
Yeah, to let everybody know. I'm open, make me a deal.
And I think what you have to say is, I'll listen on anybody.
Seriously, let everybody know. Let me know what you think, because right now, what's it going to get worse?
You know who you know who I wouldn't trade? The untouchable, the kicker and the punter. We need those two guys if you're the Cowboys. That's I'm telling Jerry's saying, I'll trade any of them. I'm not trading the guys that kick the ball. Those two boys. They kicked the hell out of that ball.
Tell me you are terrible without telling me you're terrible.
You're two best
most
players.
Valuable guys I got.
Really are. All right. We'll try and talk about something other than the misery in Arlington on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on the northeast side. We've got an accident 35 northbound. It's right as you approach Pat Booker Road. It's a 20-minute delay as you stop and go from O'Connor. 1604 northbound, I-10 to 35, a solid 25-minute commute. And 30-minute commute, 1604 westbound, I-10 over to 281. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
What's with the outfit, Nigel?
This is my hunting attire, complete with my bright red jacket, hunting horn.
Whoa, Nigel. Hunting is a little different here in Texas.
And like hunting, plumbing, heating, and air conditioner repairs are all about skill and having the right equipment.
And all our Quarter Moon technicians with a fleet of fully stocked trucks know what to do when plumbing, heat, and AC issues pop up out of nowhere. Where'd you go?
I can't get my horse down from the deer blind.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E and 16004.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners.
Country boy is all I'll ever be.
The
American as it gets tour. February 6th, Majestic Theater. Am I the only one? Tickets on sale now at majesticempire.com. Take a bullet for being more free at AaronLewisMusic.com. I'm American as it gets. Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners. American as it gets tour.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything. Like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey there, you in aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey. Oh, if I have to see the Saquon Barkley thing one more time.
Why, man? It's poetry. That is the most
it is
beautiful.
amazing, but it's like, we've seen it. All right, I get it. Well, I guess we'll see it when the ESPYs come around.
Oh, that dude, well put. That is an award winner.
I mean, it got him like an extra 2 yards, but
I don't care.
It looked cool.
I don't care.
It did look cool.
How did he do that?
Joel says Parson is like Dak, great regular season numbers, but MIA in the playoffs.
He's a heat-seeking missile is what he is. He hits what he's aimed at. And if you aim him wrong, he ain't going to hit it.
If you can get the Khalil Mack deal for Micah Parsons, I don't think you can afford to not take it.
I just hope that Jerry is taking requests. That's all I mean, the guy's he knows a good deal when he hears it. He's made deals before. This wouldn't be his first one. Now, he doesn't do it very often.
This ain't my first rodeo.
But right now, you start wondering. You really do. We've got, sometimes I think when you're that wealthy, you stand on pride. And now he's even given up on that. He was standing on pride last week. Like, nope, this is what we thought was going to be. I'm still standing by the dudes I got. And then suddenly after this comes out and says, well, we got some things in the boiler. Got some things in the mix. So where'd that come from? I thought you were solid.
All right. Well, let's kick Rob in his other nut. And talk about.
No, I'm not. I legitimately should be mad, and I'm mad at the outcome of the game. But I took a little bit of stock on Saturday night. I also had my moment of clarity. I thought, this time last year, what was I going through? This time last year, I was 3-3 in the SEC and just gotten kicked in the nuts by Ole Miss. Had a lead, got beaten the fourth, and that was the beginning. Not the beginning, it was the middle of the end. For Jimbo, things have looked, and if you'd have told me after what I went through last year that I'd be sitting still in first place in the SEC, though tied, still with an opportunity to make the playoff, a distant one, but still, dude,
Well,
I am not the Cowboys thing. I am not sinking. I have sunk and am on the rise, baby.
I agree.
Very comfortable with where I sit today.
Now, you obviously would have liked that game to be more competitive. You would have liked to not get absolutely buried.
They got bitch slapped. They ate the rat poison. They looked physically tired but mentally worn out. And there's mentally, I think, after the roller coaster and the win and the pats on the back and the highlights and the blackout and Pat McAfee and everybody telling you how finally A&M is kind of turning the corner, you ate the rat poison and got stuck in the trap game that Aggie fans should have been looking at the get-go. A road game in South Carolina, 9-1 against one of the best defenses. Again, we have beaten South Carolina every which way possible over the last decade. 9-1 against these guys. Catch them on the road in a blackout game with the biggest crowd they have had in a decade. They got their ass kicked, and they should have seen it coming. And
also, as I looked at when I was after the game, I was looking at what Aggie had upcoming and what they've done. And when you look through their wins now, you go,
well, I think you can say that about a lot of teams.
No, you're right.
You are what your last game was.
You're right.
You're right.
But it should make you less surprised about it. And,
yes.
And to be fair, their last win, LSU, was their best win. And I don't know what LSU is. I really don't. But, like, at the time, we thought that Missouri win meant something, and it turns out it didn't. The Arkansas is a bad football team.
Well, I think they destroyed Missouri. I think they broke Missouri's confidence. I think that A&M became something after that Arkansas game. I think the Florida, they had one particular drive where they started to become a little bit more. This team is better than they were. South Carolina ain't nearly as bad as people thought.
No, they're pretty good,
that
man.
That team was good.
They got a bunch of 5 stars.
I'm not saying that we should have taken them any more than we did, but they should have taken it more than they did. That team is not the team that lost to LSU. They should have beat LSU. That's on them. They should have beat them. They should have beaten Georgia. You know what I mean? It's on them. Georgia didn't beat them. They lost it. So they're a far better team, but A&M should have beat them. I'll just get back to the rat poison and the attaboys. It just got them. And that's the sign of a growing team.
If despite the loss, A&M sitting here now at 7-2, going into a bye, you've got your next 2 games are imminently winnable. Imminently. I know you got to go to Auburn, but Auburn sucks. They are pathetic. But even in the worst case scenario for Aggie, you lose to Texas, you are a regular season 9-3, which is better than it's been in a long time in College Station.
I wake up going and knowing full well, and a lot of that's worst case. Well, I mean there are worst cases, but really the loss to Texas and going to 9-3
could happen. But yeah,
you wake up and go but
9-3. If I told you before the season you're going to go 9-3, you take that every time, right?
Absolutely. No, there's no question that as the Aggies grow, but there does come a time where you're going to have to do it, and they're just not quite there. And I think we see it. I'm not sure if I think the coaching still needs to mature. That goes to Elko as well. I think there's some growing pains there, some decisions that you kind of question. We brought out the fourth into the line of scrimmage with the lightest guy on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Some odd decisions. I don't know how much the decision to decide on Marcel for the rest of the year without hesitation will affect him. I think in the long run it's the best thing. Last night or Saturday night, I think maybe most Aggies would have liked to have seen maybe an option given. You do have a guy that at least for a couple of games showed that he could deliver a pass when one was absolutely required, and you didn't even try. So there's some things to go to where they are. It's not as bad as it seems. But this was one of those occasions that where you go, if you're going to cross the line, this is the game.
I have one real complaint about Aggie's performance on Saturday. We'll talk about that on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Like the whatchamacallit. That used to be a go-to.
The whatchamacallit? Not a big candy guy.
Well, all right, bah humbug. Like I said.
I'm just saying.
Like I said. But, I mean, there are, Butterfingers that my wife didn't buy the bag that has the Butterfingers in it.
Is that like a Butterface?
Oh, Jesus.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
The most wanted beauty gifts of the season just dropped at Ulta Beauty. From exclusive kits by Sol de Janeiro, MAC, and e.l.f. to the cult favorite Hourglass holiday palettes. And let's not forget the stunning Dyson Airwrap in Strawberry Bronze. These limited editions won't last long, so don't miss out. While you're there, why not grab yourself something special too? I mean, 'tis the season, right? Get all the best gifts all at Ulta Beauty. Head in store today.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Okay, so here's my beef with the way Aggie handled things down the stretch. I get you want to stick with Reed. You don't want to shake his confidence. You don't want to be playing quarterback roulette. You don't want to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I get all that. But there reaches a point where everyone in the building knows the only chance you have to compete in this game is to throw the football. And they are going to pin their ears back and come after you and say, okay, beat us throwing the football. And that is not the strength of Marcel Reed. Like a big chunk passing plays is not the strength of Reed. And the only guy that could have done that was Wegman. I agree with you. Seeing his face over on the sideline looking like he was, like he was missing something.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, God, can we get out of here so I can get to my party or whatever the hell it was? I don't know. But all I know is when you're down, especially when you're down 17 points, there's only one thing you can do. And they continued to stick with Reed.
The final 44-20, if you didn't see the game turned on a pick six, basically. A pick off, a turnover that should have been a pick six. I think it's tipped out. Doesn't matter. Game was over.
Yeah.
An interception that was thrown to the flat about 12 yards down the field, which is kind of Marcel's sweet spot.
Yep.
I think as this team matures and continues, that's going to be the kind of offense we see from him. And I agree. This was a problem that happened before the game even began. I think the moment that they named Marcel the starter for the rest of the year, they kind of threw in the ace in the hole. The thing that got them the win before against LSU was this change of pace. That thing's not working. Let's try this. And Marcel came in, and the paradigm changed, the way you attack. But it went from an on-your-heels passing attack where you're backing up to a downhill we're driving forward. And I'm not sure you can take and go in reverse like that. I've never been a football coach. I don't know. But to me, it seems like if I'm a pressing football team or basketball team, my game is predicated on pressing, and I go out and I'm pressing and it doesn't work, that team, when I pull the reins off and I start falling back into a zone, that's when I get lit up. That's because that's not who I am. But if I go in and I am a pressing team, but I start playing a zone and that's not working, and I fall into my press, normally that works because I get more aggressive. I'm starting to step into it instead of stepping out of it. And I think that's why they should have started Wegman. And if it's not working, if he's not dialed in, which is about a 50-50 shot, Marcel, I'm pulling him again, and I'm changing a pace. And at the very least, the defense has to scheme for two offenses.
That's what I would say. And we thought that was going to be the case. And I said as much. Like, just you don't need to say this guy is our starter for the rest of the year. Just say we've got two quarterbacks, and I feel good about both of them. And there's going to be situations where I feel good about one guy and not like. It's not a crime to say that.
No. And would you think any lesser of Elko if today, tomorrow, going into the bye week, he came out and said, well, we're going to reevaluate.
No.
The job is always open, and I got 2 weeks to see who my starting quarterback is, and no matter who wins, I'm going to feel pretty good about it. I would like to hear him come out and say that.
I would have liked to hear him say that from the beginning.
And I think as a coach, you mature. I don't know what's going on in the locker room, whether this whole team was out on Wegman, like they decided, hey, man, I don't like him, and I'm not going to play for him. If there's some kind of internal current, I have not heard that by any stretch. I'm not even intimating that. But what I am saying, there's a lot of variables that go into a decision like that, and there might be something on the team where your leadership is telling you, it's Marcel or nothing, man. I don't trust that cat, and nobody in the locker room does. And you have to make that decision. Maybe that was the case, but I do think if you're a coach of any kind of merit and substance, you're willing to take a decision and go, well, that was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again and not stand fast, because I do agree, in the long run, they're better with Marcel on the field. I don't disagree with the long-term attitude, and if you're going to take me as the Aggie who's just going to take stock in life and where am I despite most recent failure, I'm sitting in first place. I'm far ahead of where I wanted to be. I thought next year would be my year, and let's even be ready, more ready. I'm keeping with Marcel because I know that this year was, close, and he can still do it. But if he doesn't, I've got more starts, and I got him ready for next year. And I might have a Heisman candidate if I can do this thing right.
He needs to develop more as a downfield passer.
Absolutely,
because where they're at now, Marcel Reed, I think, is a great guy to have when you've got a lead. And if you fall behind, you are really limiting yourself in any kind of a comeback attempt. And it felt like as soon as A&M got down 10, I said, they're in trouble now, because South Carolina did not respect his downfield passing at all.
No.
Like, not even a little. So
without any reason. And here's the other worry.
So why would you leave a safety back there if you're not worried about him throwing further than 10 yards down the field? Why not just go after him?
I think that they did the right thing. There's some questionable play calls, and there were some open guys that Marcel missed, and I think that's going to be addressed. But is he ever going to be a 15-yard downfield consistent dude? No. I do expect him to try to pop a few, but let's not get away from the fact that Elko wants to be a running team with an accurate passer. That's what he wants to be. So he has
and to be fair, their back went out early, and that changed a lot, I think.
Well,
probably.
I think Amari Daniels, on most teams, you go, oh, it's over. Amari Daniels is a very good 1A. He or what should have been a 2A, because keep in mind, this is the third running back.
Yeah.
First string, Ruben got hurt. So that was not the reason A&M lost. He was adequate, if not very good, at running back. He busted a long one. Didn't he hit a 50-yarder?
Yeah.
So that wasn't a running game. It's a downhill football team. They should have started the other way. I don't know what the plan was, but that didn't work. I'd like to see a guy just stand up and say, it's open again. And it very well could be, Wegman, you're not going to go till the snap of the first play against New Mexico State.
No reason to say it.
I'm not going to tell you who it's going to be. Just know that they're both trying.
The other thing was, in the most cowboy way possible, they could absolutely not stop the run. And
which was unexpected. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. And South Carolina just bullied them up front. Especially in the second half. It almost looked like Aggie got tired. But they started running downhill, and A&M just had no answers.
And that guy's a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah.
And, he's not – the guy's a beast. He's not – there's a reason why they are what they are, because he's not a downfield thrower either. I mean, they are what they are. But they were just at home in front of a raucous environment, and they dominated the line of scrimmage, and it's really hard to beat a team like that. 44-20 is probably how it felt, to fan, although on the field I don't think it felt like they got beat 44-20. I think they walked off the field going, man, a couple things here. If we make tackles, make a tackle.
I feel like they probably think they got their ass kicked, but I don't think they felt like it was 44-20.
No, but make a tackle.
Because it wasn't for most of that game, but yeah. All right, we'll check out the rest of the college football world on the other side. Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding the work with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America. After a few years, these wholesalers decided to change the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history, rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
but that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We'll start with some good news. We did clear that wreck on the northeast side on 35 northbound approaching Pat Booker Road. We're still showing some delays through the area as our morning rush hour now is in full swing. On 35 northbound San Marcos Powell Street, that's a disabled vehicle downtown. It's off to the shoulder, still a little bit of stop and go from right around Highway 90. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Now, if you see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out at 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys went down hard yesterday, 27-21, in a tough loss to the Atlanta Falcons. UTSA took a big one over Memphis, 44-36. Owen McCown, 280 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Spurs took down the Timberwolves over the weekend, 113-103, play tonight in L.A. against the Clippers. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Number 2. Big weekend in college football. I said it at the time, and I cannot believe I let myself lose money by betting on Penn State to do something in a big game. I said, remember on Friday I said, I know they lose all the big games. I know they do. But this feels different.
You know, as an Aggie, I go, at least I'm not a Penn State alone. At least I didn't have to suffer through that.
And, well, you know what? You're right, because this is worse.
Oh, far worse.
This is worse because Penn State should have won that game. And their dummy coach, has no idea how to handle a first and goal situation. I can't imagine how Penn State fan feels this morning. I don't know. I can't. What are you thinking? How are you stomaching this, that you should have beaten that team, and yet here you sit?
The post game from the coach, the way he interacted with a fan.
Oh, he's such a
it was
crumb bum.
It was just as bad as it could have been, and it felt so good for so long there.
Yep.
Just to have it ripped away from you. They're a good football team.
They are,
and they should have won that game. And I don't. And in the long run, they might still make the playoff. I just don't think that, unless they win something really soon. He's got a tremendous regular season run. He's like 94-40, something crazy like that. And if you want to be that, you've got the right guy. But he is never going to win a national championship there or anywhere else. It's just not in him. It's just not going to happen. Whatever it is, it's the George Costanza. He is going to fail.
Yeah. James Franklin is consistently winning in the regular season and losing any game of magnitude.
And I know it's always a big one. I know it's hard to beat Ohio State, and it's hard to beat Michigan.
95-40 at Penn State. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's been there since 2014. This will likely be his 6th double-digit win season.
You know,
and they're like, we want him fired.
And I speak because I know of what you're going through, Penn State fan. I speak of what I've been there. I have been there, and trust me, just because it looks good doesn't mean it's good for you. And this looks good, but I'll tell you, these kind of heartbreaking losses year in and year out, you got to change the paradigm. It won't change unless you do.
Wow. He ain't changing. He is what he is. I'm a clown for even thinking that he could. Oregon, the number 1 team in the country, gets a 38-17 win over Michigan. Dan Lanning had something personal in this game because Oregon they've not been going for style points, and they were calling Sharon Moore was trying to get out of that game, and Oregon was calling timeouts and so they could score a late touchdown. Maybe it was like a booster thing because the number was 14.5, and they were right at that point they were up 14. But they made sure and get that last touchdown in.
That was trying to put this the best way I can. This was pissing on the fire hydrant.
Okay,
this is my house, and welcome to the conference. This is who we are. They're the best team in football. They're in college football. Quarterback plays tremendous. They are so fast on defense. There's openings there. They look open, but as soon as there's an opportunity, whether it's a pass or a throw or a run, they close distance as good as anybody in college football. They're good.
Georgia gets a 34-20 win over Florida that was not nearly as pretty as the final score makes it look. They were down 13-6 at halftime. They were in trouble. And Carson Beck, 3 picks on the day, tried his damnedest to keep Florida in this game, but Georgia eventually wins out. Speaking of in trouble, dude, Miami went from they're about to lose and be knocked out of the ranks of the unbeaten to they cover a 20-point spread by outscoring Duke 36-10 in the second half.
I'm starting to believe, man. I'm starting to think that Cam Ward might be enough.
It's enough to get you through the ACC.
Yeah, no, that's it.
I mean, listen, at some point Miami's going to run into a big boy football team, and they're going to learn.
I'll tell you, though, they can score at will.
Yeah.
You know,
they play in the ACC. Who are they playing?
No, you're right. I didn't think that I thought it was smoke and mirrors that they would be an average team in the Big 10 or Big 12 or SEC. I don't believe that. I think that offense is next level because of Cam Ward. I don't think there's much more. I mean, there's lots of good dudes, but the defense is better. That's a playoff caliber team, and if they're hosting a game, they might be a semifinal team.
I power rate them as 6th or 7th best team in the SEC.
Maybe, but offensively, they're in the top 3 just because Cam Ward might be the most pro-ready of all the quarterbacks. He might not be the best, but he might be the most pro-ready.
I don't know. I mean, I also, speaking of, do you trust their coach?
Well, there's lots of questions with Miami. Like I said, I'm starting to be a believer, but when you start winning games like that, and it wasn't flipping a switch, it was finally getting into focus in the fourth quarter. It wasn't, and they played poorly. I mean, it wasn't like, but they were so much better when it was time, and they've done this repeatedly. Now, there's still some proof to come. They still got a game or two, but I'm starting to believe more and more that this is a team that might even win one playoff game.
Tennessee, 28-18 winners over Kentucky.
I don't know about Tennessee.
I don't know what Tennessee is either. I don't believe in their offense at all. Their defense is better than I thought it was. I don't know what to make of them. Texas Tech with a nice upset win over Iowa State on the road. Last minute touchdown to knock Iowa State from the unbeaten. And what this did is probably ensure that the Big 12 is a one-bid conference.
Probably. Yeah.
So, which is, it was a week ago, looked pretty good for the Big 12. Now it's like, oh. Speaking of making sure that a conference gets less bids than we thought they might, Louisville beats Clemson 33-21. Clemson ain't a playoff team. They're not.
Too bad. They were really that's the first time Louisville's ever beaten Clemson, and Clemson was trending up, man.
They were.
It's not a total shock because Louisville's got some skill. They got some talent. But, oh, man, Dabo, talk about stubbing your toe.
How do you, as Cade Klubnik, throw the ball 56 times and have 220 yards of passing? That's crazy. Dabo's he's a clown. I love you, Kurt Signetti. Oh my God. 47-10, Indiana goes into Michigan State and pulls their pants down and spanks their hiney. This Indiana, I know they haven't played anybody. I get it. They really haven't played anybody, but they are so much fun. I would give so much to see them beat Ohio State.
Dude.
Please, sweet baby Jesus in a manger in the sky, please let them beat Ohio State. I will bring you all the myrrh. I'll bring the myrrh.
I got the frankincense. We'll go find it. It's possible, man. It's not probable. It's not. Ohio State's a hell of a football team. But there's something. The thing about Indiana is, they haven't played anybody, but they're beating the snot out of
your ass.
And Nebraska, what they did to Nebraska, and consider what Nebraska's done.
Yeah.
So if you kind of, if you judge who they've beaten and how they've beaten them, this Indiana team, I don't know if they're as good as I think they are. You know what I mean? Because the way that they play on the road, in the horseshoe, they've got the kind of game that travels. I don't know how well it'll travel against that, but they do have the kind of game with a quarterback that just doesn't make any mistakes. That travels.
Curtis Rourke has 19 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The only game this season where his offense, now last week when they didn't play with him was an exception, but the only game that he's played this year where they didn't score 40 points was the first game of the season against Florida International, where he sat out most of the game. After he ran up the score, it was 31-7.
I've yet to see him make a terrible mistake. Now, he's made some bad balls, but he will not lose the game for you. He's not a Heisman candidate, but maybe he should be.
This is the value of in the transfer portal era, going out and finding a mid-major senior quarterback and saying, hey, man, you want a shot to play big-time football? We got you. And, this is to take Curtis Rourke, who was at Ohio, and he was a good player at Ohio, but Kurt Signetti just says, hey, man, we're going to let you put up some crazy numbers. We're going to let you, lead this thing. You're going to play Big Ten football for a season. Curtis Rourke's like, okay.
And just don't screw it up, man. I'm never going to ask you to do more than you can.
Curtis Rourke's probably not going to play in the NFL.
I'm going to invite him. I'm going to invite him.
Oh, yeah, I at least want to test him out.
The guy can win.
Houston, in a monsoon, gets a 24-19 win over Kansas State, further kicking dirt on the grave of the Big 12.
God, how long did that game go?
They were there was active lightning and while the game was, they didn't care. They were like, let's just get this over.
Get out of here. Not like Oklahoma State that paused for 5 hours.
Gosh, SMU 48, Pitt 25.
That was huge.
Pitt confirmed frauds.
Thanks for playing.
Finally, they play someone with a pulse, and SMU beheads them.
Smooth. Now are we talking smooth in the playoff?
Dude, I think you can. That's who it's going to come down to is SMU and Miami.
And they're paying their own freight. I want them to go just because of that.
Yeah, SMU and Miami be a hell of a game. Ole Miss, oh my gosh, that's assault, brother. 63-31.
How? I've seen Arkansas. How?
Jackson. Well, first of all, it was Ole Miss lived in the backfield, and Arkansas just couldn't do anything.
I mean, give up 56 points. I know this is Lane Kiffin scoring some late, but I know Arkansas ain't good. I don't know how you get beat like that. I mean, just hold the ball. I figured you'd been able to run the ball on him. At least kept it out of Dart's hands, but it looked like Dart was throwing every which way possible. Warming up for a huge game next week.
Yep. Army, 20-3 win over Air Force without Bryson Daly. Announced out shortly before the game.
Why? Well, I heard that he was out. Did we get a reason?
Still don't know. Still don't. It was undisclosed. They still almost covered. They win 20-3. Air Force is just inept.
Yeah, evidently.
And my guess, well, I don't know if I can speculate, but my guess is if they were playing someone with a pulse, Bryson Daly probably would have found a way to play. But they said, let's just try and get out of here with this one. And then Minnesota gets a 25-17 win at Illinois. Illinois confirmed fraud.
Well,
I said it last week. I was like,
Big Ten.
What is this team doing with a number by their name? They suck.
That's Big Ten.
And they absolutely do suck. I don't know how they had a number by their name.
It's Brent Bielema, right? That's
yeah.
He always gets a little bit of love because he runs the football.
Yep. So and I guess we should have noted that Boise got a 56-24 win on Friday night over San Diego State. Ashton Ginty, just another 150-yard day, couple tutties, no big deal.
Just another day at the office.
Yep, just doing
really good.
Doing my business.
I like him. Like him a lot.
I like him too, man.
I like him.
Good ball player. All right, when we return, let's switch it over to a little basketball match you might be interested in tonight. Spurs coming off a huge win.
Yeah, we'll call it that. Huge.
They beat the friggin' Timberwolves.
Beat the T-Wolves that look awfully good in May.
Yeah, suck it, Timberwolves. Get on that level. Get on that San Antonio level, baby. You ain't there right now. Ooh, get on my level with Underdog Fantasy. Rob, I almost hit a big lick this weekend on Underdog.
Parlays are hard.
They are, but what I did was I got a bonus on one. It was if you've got an NBA player, you get a little bonus. So I added an NBA player to my college football lineup. My NBA player lost by half a point, rebound, or assist. I needed one more point, rebound, or assist from Ja, and I would have made $300 off 5. But in my other lineup that didn't need an NBA player, I did win that bad boy. And then I won an NFL yesterday. Had myself a nice little 4-man parlay with Devin Achane, Zay Flowers, Alvin Kamara, Travis Etienne under. Easy work. And, dude, I'm making cash with these games. It is so much fun. It makes the games more exciting. Games I don't care about, suddenly I do. This season, Underdog's running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Those profit boosts, the discounts that I was just telling you about, a free pick, which is basically a sure thing. It's like, are you going to get 1 yard passing? Probably so. Throw them in your lineup. It's a free play. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code ALAMO. Deposit right now. You get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code ALAMO. You got to be 18 or older. President of state where Underdog Fantasy operates, like Texas. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
I have to ask the sun. At some point, is that ever going to be addressed?
Talking about it.
In the stadium, the 325 sundial effect. It just seems something that we can fix. Let's put some curtains up.
Okay. Noted.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the 149th Fighter Wing. That's the 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard.
Time to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner, and that starts with the turkey. And the best turkeys are from Tri-County Meat Market. Tri-County gets their turkeys from Barber Farms in Colorado. These fresh, all-natural turkeys are never frozen and come between 8 and 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number, so reserve your turkey before they sell out. Pre-order your turkeys and your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery now at either Tri-County Meat Market location on Huebner Road or on Welfare Road.
Sunday, November 10th is the epic return of Yellowstone, and it's only on Paramount Network. Generations of blood have led to this, and nothing will prepare you for the must-see premiere event, the epic return of Yellowstone, Sunday at 8, 7 Central, only on Paramount Network.
If fashion is your thing, eBay is it. eBay's where I find all my favorites, from handbags to iconic streetwear, all authenticated, for real. This time, a little Supreme, some Gucci. I even have that vintage Prada on my watch list. That's why eBay's my go-to for all my go-tos. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to sasportsstar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at sasportsstar.com. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime! Showtime! How about them Spurs, Rob Thompson?
We talked about them. 3-3, 500.
Back-to-back wins? What?
Pop starts fast.
We got something cooking here in San Antonio besides the breakfast tacos.
Well, it's on paper, that was a hell of a win. When you look at, when you beat one of the best teams in all of basketball, and certainly one of the best in the West, no matter how you beat them, it's good, but it certainly helps when they come in off a back-to-back, landing at 4:15 in the morning and having a very quick turnaround. That was a tired basketball team, but you know what? That's the kind of teams you beat, and we're there now. You need to beat teams that come in kind of tired. You're not going to be the target, and you need to sneak up on teams when you get a chance, and they did it.
Yeah.
How much of that was Chris Paul?
I think he certainly played a pretty hefty role. And you know what? Credit where it's due. I've crapped on him a lot this year, and I feel fairly. But Keldon played well, too.
He needed it, man. He needed it.
He needed it badly because he's in real danger of not existing on this team anymore. But, yeah, he had a nice game as well. And I'm telling you, I told you this before the show, I love Harrison Barnes. I mean, this dude is just – he does all the things you want. I talked so much about getting an adult in the room and how Chris Paul's could make a difference for this team. I think Harrison Barnes maybe even more so. Like, he's just – because he's still physically got some things that Chris doesn't. He's still a dog defender, a dog. And that's what's keeping Keldon sitting on the bench is that Barnes is just a world better defensively than him.
He is very consistent.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's here, and it's to do exactly what he's doing. Just stay consistent, and there'll be nights he's going to win you games. There's also going to be nights when physically he's going to be outmatched.
Yeah.
It's just part of his age. And
he's an older dude. But,
what he did is exactly why he's supposed to be here. And he's also the reason why Keldon has become a periphery kind of thing, because Harrison does the things the Spurs need. And Keldon, while being physically more gifted and more dominant in certain areas, can't fill the bill the way Harrison does. And because of that, I'm glad Keldon had a game. It helps his stock. But he's first on the list of you guys for any team that's shopping. Because I don't think that Keldon is going to be part of the long term because his skill set doesn't match what the Spurs need.
No, and that's okay. It's and if you need, because what they really need is somebody out there who's going to play D. Because I remember last year, the biggest issue with this team was, as great as Wemby was defensively, they were still a pretty bad defensive team. And you need more. Like, one guy can't make you a good defensive basketball team. You know that. And they needed to put some guys on the floor who could defend. And we're seeing Barnes, even Chris Paul, a diminished physically Chris Paul. Sohan's gotten better on that end. Like, they're a solid defensive team now.
Sohan defends the best player on the other team every game. And I'm not going to make any hard decisions on this team. I don't think Pop will until he gets Devin Vassell back, because we don't have a full picture. But what I get a sense of is Devin is a very good wing defender. We know that coming in. We expect even more improvement there. Is when he arrives, I think, I'm upset. I don't like the way Zach Collins offensively plays. It just doesn't.
Zach Collins sucks. You can just
sucks,
say it.
But I will say, defensively, he matters. And he matters because he's a great catcher. He's a great play. He's the guy that's calling the defenses. He's the guy standing in the paint. You can just see he's the glue guy on that second team, and he does it very well. He's a good team defender. And he's not a great rim defender. He's adequate. But as a team defender, as a help guy to come and help on the week, he doesn't miss those. And because he doesn't miss them, he's getting those minutes. I'm curious, though, when Vassell comes back, is it time for Mamu to start playing a lot more? I see why Zach's playing
more
now.
On the offensive side.
Right. Zach helps defensively so much when Wemby's not in there that I see why he's out there. I get it. But once we get that perimeter defense that maybe will take away the need for all the help that Zach has to offer, especially when Keldon's out there, I think we're going to see a lot less Zach, because Mamu is playing so well as far as just being a spark. I mean, the guy brings a bounce to the game, and there's an offensive threat there that Zach just doesn't offer. Defensively, not quite as much, but I hope Devin will make that change once we see him back. But right now, I like the way Zach's playing defense. I think it mattered. I want to give him some flowers when he does do well, and he did. He wasn't the walking turnover that he'd been. But at the end of the day, you said it. We had an adult in the room. It was Chris Paul. He knew these are the games you win. These are the games that young teams need to learn how to win. Beat a good team when they're down, because eventually you're going to play them when they're up, but you'll have seen them. You know what I mean? And those are the games you need to win. 3-3 as we sit, little roadie right here. I like this team. It's fun to watch, and they're starting to kind of understand how to win basketball games, or at least Chris Paul is telling them how to win.
And I don't know if Steph Castle's in the rookie house or the dog house, but he's down the line. Let's just say that.
And this is Pop-esque. I mean, there's not a lot of rookies that are Wemby. It's not like you don't see it, though. I'm not mad at him. When he is out there, he does a lot of good things.
He's just it's hard to get him on the floor, apparently. It's funny, after the Thunder game, I listed off the next 8 games for the Spurs, and we were like, man, if they can go 4-4 in this stretch, that'd be great, right? Well, they start out 2-2. They beat the Jazz, beat the Timberwolves. Clippers, Rockets, Blazers, Jazz, Kings, Wizards is what's left. I mean,
got to be careful tonight.
4-4 might be disappointing after this start.
But this is one of those games where you thought the Minnesota game, when you looked at the schedule, oh man, Anthony Edwards coming to town, Rudy Gobert, the mentor. This is one of those games you get up for, and if you lose, no big deal. Well, you win. And now you're going into a Clipper arena that's going to be kind of interesting. Brand new building. They're banged up.
Yeah.
This is This is a game you probably circle to win. And
they have yet to win a game in that building.
So knowing where you're going, this is a game that they thought, hey, we're going to get this one. I hope they don't kind of skate in there thinking they're really good because they beat a Minnesota team that had on 2 hours of sleep.
No. And it's been some close losses. Remember, they lost close to Phoenix on opening day. They played Phoenix well again the second game, but they're just not. They're not getting over the hump. They're not very good.
This is a game that, just like Minnesota, you circle and go, this is a game you should win, bad basketball team. To prove that you're an average team, you win against bad teams in bad situations.
Yeah.
And this is a bad team in a bad situation. That's why you brought in Harrison Barnes. That's why you brought in CP3 to bring in those guys that tell you, these are the games you win, dude. Don't make the mistakes and get out of here with a W.
I agree. Han Solo and C3PO.
I'm sorry, I was watching.
Han Solo and C3P or CP3O really making a difference for the.
I watched some Star Wars last night. I'm not gonna lie, it was on one of the channels.
They've become one of the best teams in the galaxy.
There's a lot there.
But with the Clippers, you slow down James. Obviously, Norman Powell surprisingly been effective for them.
He's always been a bucket.
25 points per game, though?
He's always been a bucket.
I didn't think of that. That's impressive. But, yeah, I think this is a winnable game for the Spurs, so hopefully they keep that momentum rolling. All right, when we come back.
By the way, have we ever heard why Pop didn't coach?
No.
Why he didn't?
No, he just wasn't feeling good, he said.
Is that what he said?
What are we going to do?
Did he have plans Saturday night? Was he at Worst Fest? Has anybody got any proof that he wasn't at Worst Fest?
We have to believe him, right? Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Was he? Did he go see a football game?
He's probably like you, got the flu shot and the COVID booster, and
he wasn't on the sidelines at that Air Force game, was he? Because he's gotten the shot. He and I both.
Sniffles again. You guys were in line at CVS together?
I'm just saying, why wasn't he there on Saturday?
I don't know. All right, when we come back, let's take a look around the rest of the NFL non-Cowboys department, where there were some good ones. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1.
Hey, guys, I want to talk to you real quickly about your tractor. Now, if you can say, yeah, let's talk about my tractor. Yeah, well, I want to talk about the quality of your tractor versus the quality of mine. But if you don't have a tractor, if you've always wanted a tractor, you might as well get the very best, and that's an Ewald Kubota. Ewald Kubota's, well, the Kubota brand is world-renowned for quality. Those orange tractors are fine tractors. My daddy always told me that, and I believe him. If you got a big job and only need the tractor for a day or two or any kind of heavy equipment, you can call Ewald Kubota, and they'll bring it out, whatever you need. They'll train you up on it, and they'll pick it up when you're done. Day, week, month, whatever you need. That's just what Ewald does. 11 locations, all eager to take care of you. If it's time for you to go get yourself a brand new utility vehicle, the RTVX, America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle, is on sale as the deer season begins. They got exactly what you need. How about 0 down and 36 months to take care of that? That'll save you nearly $1,000. Go to KubotaUSA.com for all those details. If you're looking for that brand new tractor, but you don't know exactly what you need, you can modify an Ewald to do just about anything you want it to do. I've seen some climb trees. That's the Ewald Kubota, 11 locations from the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas for over 75 years. Ewald Kubota, it's your Kubota dealer.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you get into your early morning commute, we do have a stall at 35 northbound at San Marcos off to the shoulder. Callahan northbound at 151, that's a minor accident. And on I-10 eastbound FM 775, this is in the Seguin area, over to 90, get reports of a wreck. A stall on I-10 eastbound at Dominion, now off to the shoulder. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. A free drinking water system installed at your kitchen sink with the cleanest, best-tasting water you've ever had. Better for your coffee maker, better for cooking, better for everything. Free with the purchase of a Connecticut water softener, but only for a limited time.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Kinetico uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
And is the last water softener you'll ever own. Right now, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking water station when you buy a Kinetico water softener. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call us at 656-PURE.
Check them out at KineticoSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Kinetico.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
What's with the outfit, Nigel?
This is my hunting attire, complete with my bright red jacket, hunting horn.
Whoa, Nigel. Hunting is a little different here in Texas.
And like hunting, plumbing, heating, and air conditioner repairs are all about skill and having the right equipment.
And all our quarter moon technicians with a fleet of fully stocked trucks know what to do when plumbing, heat, and AC issues pop up out of nowhere. Where'd you go?
I can't get my horse down from the deer blind.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TNCLA 141074E and 16004.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LANZESS.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, another big weekend of football, college and pro. We're reacting to all of it.
And really about the Cowboys and Atlanta Falcons. How did Dallas do in the ATL?
How about those Aggies? Did they get it done in South Carolina?
The Blitz, Monday at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Week 9 of the NFL. Not quite come to an end. We got one more.
A low-key good game tonight.
One more for the road. Where's my promo thing. Here we go. Watch what I do. I'm going to turn this into a... Oh, are we out of staples?
Yeah. What's going on here, Vic?
What the hell's this?
I have none of my papers are attached.
What the hell?
They're all loose leaf.
They also, I mean...
This paper's just flying around. I have no control over this.
This is
How are we
crazy.
supposed to use this?
How am I supposed to do this when they don't... They always have the wrong game here.
Oh, what is it? Is it last year's game?
I know for a fact the Chiefs are playing the Tampa Bay Bucks tonight.
As far as you know.
No,
that's happening.
It's happening.
Well,
And right here it says, this week, we bring you the Miami Dolphins against the Los Angeles Rams.
when is that?
Actually, it says the Los Angeles Rams.
Is that a...
I'm guessing it's next week's game. But remember last week they had the old game for me. They're trying to make me look dumb is what they're doing.
Well, that ain't
Luckily,
that hard.
I know,
Do that
but
well on your own.
You see how I keep catching them though, right?
Well,
I ain't smarter than a lot of people, but I'm smarter than them. Monday Night Football this week, we're going to bring you the Tampa Bay Bucks and the defending world champion Kansas City Chiefs. It all starts at 6:30 with the pregame. Monday Night Football presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, and that'll be right here on San Antonio Sports Star. That's right. Try to make me look foolish. I won't stand for that.
You'll sit down for it any
That's
day
right.
of the week.
Didn't even staple my papers. I still got the job done. Messed up the copy.
Totally
Didn't staple
turned
my
around,
papers. Whew. I did it like a pro. Like a pro.
Looking at we do have post-game sound. This piece of paper got lost.
Oh, because it wasn't stapled.
There, it wasn't.
It wasn't
lost.
stapled. Let's take a look at what went down yesterday. We'll start with the lowly Buffalo Bills, moving to 7-2. And there's something that happens twice a year, every year, and it's the Bills beating the Dolphins. And
Well,
it's a tale as old as time. Josh Allen making love to the Miami Dolphins. They say Dolphins are the closest thing to females when it comes to female women when it comes to that sort of thing. Maybe he thinks so too, because he continues to make love to the Dolphins.
Well, it was they played hard to get.
They did. Yeah, that's what they didn't roll over like they normally
And
do.
how often does a headline read a win after it says Bills kicker kicks 64-yarder to
win?
That's rare. Normally
Yeah.
it's to lose.
Yeah.
So celebrate the greatness that is. What's that kid's name?
Tyler Bass.
Because he's going to miss one to break your heart eventually. I just want
he
you to
was missing-
remember this one.
He was missing extra points. Yeah, he sucked.
Oh
but
yeah,
then-
he's gonna ruin a game. But at some point he'll break your heart. But I want you to remember this one.
when they needed
when it
him,
happens.
he came through.
When you want to kill him, when you want to have him exiled from Buffalo forever and go live in the Scott Norwood gulag, just remember this one when it happens.
The Bills 7-2. The Dolphins 2-6.
On the other side, can we give Tua an award for something? The most valuable player, not really the valuable player, whatever it is, because you got to be real here. He does matter to Miami like no team, like no player I've ever seen.
You know what? You're right. They wouldn't have those 2 wins without him.
But be real. Think of what we saw. And I know it was Skylar Diggins or whatever the hell they were rolling out.
I think Skylar Diggins is a lady.
I know she's a point guard, but Skylar, whatever the name is,
Thompson,
which you'd think I'd remember that one. The difference, I know, but Skylar Thompson is an NFL quarterback of, he's been here before. He ain't, but the difference in that team, from that to Tua,
put up a little bit of a fight.
And keep in mind, Tua's operating at about 70%.
Yeah, he's missing 70.
There's some wiring still coming together there.
Yeah, he's still glitching. Like he's still trying to smell things with his ear. But
he was about a third of the playbook.
You know who's low key pretty good? I think the LA Chargers. Chargers moved to 5-3. They beat the snot out of the Browns, 27-10.
They're South Carolina.
They are. They play really good defense.
They just beat the snot out of you for 4 quarters.
Man, they are tough, man. This shows you how important a good coach is.
Go get Mike Williams. Trade for Mike Williams, San Diego. Bring him home. Go get him. Free him from that terrible situation in New York. Bring them back to the sunny climes of SoCal and throw them the football, man. Everybody will be happier.
Quentin Johnston yesterday, 4 catches, 118 yards. Is that a good average? It feels,
by my math,
feels strong.
So it shows when you can throw the ball every now and then, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
You got a quarterback that can actually throw the football. Let him do it.
Malpractice by the New England Patriots. The Titans win 20-17.
Well,
this was the Mayo versus Mayo game, although Levis didn't play.
Let's not bring up Mayo without the king.
Would have been good if the Mayo king, Will Levis, had taken on Coach Mayo, but instead we got Drake May, who I don't know where the O would come. But either way, the Titans get a 2017 win in overtime. Patriots score as time expires. My thought is, you're the Patriots. You're 2-7.
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a damn?
Well,
go for 2.
Yes, but to quote the great Rosie Perez.
Do it in the voice then.
Sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. There is no need to win a football game. Seriously. You accomplished everything. You skip off the field because guess what? You got a quarterback. Guess what? You have 15 years of quarterback playing right now. You don't need to win today.
Then
Go get him a tackle. Get him a running back. Get him something in the draft.
Then if that's your goal, go for 2 and call the worst 2-point conversion play. Throw a fade to the corner that's never got a chance.
Maybe there's some, but at the end of the day, a win sets you back in the long-term plans for this team. Just know you got a wide receiver, you got a quarterback, and you might even have a running back. And I think you got your coach. So I think where I am with New England is skip home, baby. Everything's on plan.
The New York Giants come up a little short, 27-22.
Will you give DJ some love?
Against the Washington Commanders.
Danny J.
Oh, is he one of your guys? I got to protect him?
No, but did you see him plow 2 dudes to get into the end zone?
Daniel Jones looked less incompetent than he normally does.
Well, I mean, when your quarterback has to do that, that's one thing, because that's the only thing you got. That's another. But at least he did it, you know.
This is one of those times where I bet the Giants plus 4.5.
Oh.
And they were down 24-10. They score a touchdown, and analytically, when you're down 24-10, it makes sense to go for 2. But then when it fails, all of a sudden you go, damn it, that was dumb. And then they got another touchdown late, went for 2 again. That also failed, and they end up losing 27-22.
Cinco.
That is not quite enough. But I did say I don't think the Commanders are that much better that they should be that big of a favorite on the road. I think the Commanders' hype is kind of getting a little wild. I get it, Jaden Daniels is good, but
it was New York.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if it.
But for Danny J plowing into the end zone, there would have been a field goal, and it would have been even worse.
The Carolina Panthers moved to 2-7 with a win over the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah,
23-22. Derek Carr, Chris Olave got stretchered off the field, and Michael Thomas keeps coming after Derek Carr on Twitter, and Derek Carr's like, dude. He's literally the only person I've ever played with that I didn't get along with. He's like, I don't know what his problem is with me, but he's like, Derek Carr, all he does is just try to get his receivers killed. And Derek Carr's like, dude, you think I want my best player to get hurt? Doesn't make any sense.
Michael hates him.
He hates him.
Although it was a
Carr,
bit of a medicine ball. Let's not. I mean, that was a tough one, but that's your job.
And Derek Carr's like, I sure hope he finds a team and finds some joy in his life.
Michael, you're bitter, but that's hardcore. There's even at his most spiteful, Dez was never like that. Former wide receiver, just completely calling out a dude. No, you suck, brother.
Ravens 41, Denver Broncos 10. welcome to the big-time Denver Broncos. You guys been fooling people. And then
Well,
got on the field with some...
They're exactly what we thought they were. They went against the second-best team in football and got pantsed.
Pantsed. Although the Ravens find a way to lose to some teams that they shouldn't. Remember, this is a team with losses to the Raiders and the Browns this year. But I think losing to the Browns kind of was a wake-up call that, yeah, we can't just roll out our helmets. We got to actually go kick somebody's ass every now and again.
And we'd like to welcome Zay Flowers to the NFL.
My goodness.
Jeez, that dude's electric when given the opportunity.
Sports player. Eagles hold on to beat the Jags. It was a little tighter than it looked like it was going to be in the first half. And then Sirianni started to Sirianni, tried to give the game away, but lucky for him, Saquon Barkley, my goodness.
Okay, a couple things there. I think we can all agree that Philadelphia just needs to stick with the Kelly Green. It looks good. You're foiling everything else because that looks spectacular. And did we see the play of the year? At least the highlight of the year.
Remember Jaden Daniels threw a Hail Mary to win the game last week?
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
And now we're like, the play of the year. It's like, that was a Hail Mary to win the game, 60 yards in the air.
Yeah, but I've seen that before.
It's true.
Seriously, I've never seen what Saquon did before.
No, I haven't
I've never seen a reverse leapfrog to pick up 3 yards, ever.
Yeah, that was impressive. Cardinals 29, Bears 9. The Bears suck. I don't care that they're 4-4 and that says that they're average. They're not good. Caleb Williams, not good, at least not right now. Also got hurt on the last play of the game, which leads to why was your rookie quarterback in on the last play of a game? You were losing by 20. Okay.
Penalty. Punishment.
The Green Bay Packers come up short against the Lions, 24-14. Egg on my face. I said, it's Jared Goff outdoors. What does Jared Goff do outdoors? Not much. Well, he just, completed 18 of 22. Now, it was mostly dink and dunk, but he did the job, and Lions look hard to beat, dude.
I'm going to say something that there's a certain generation that's going to blaspheme it. But he's looking like Joe Montana. He is looking like he is as accurate as any quarterback I've ever seen for this many games. I've never seen a quarterback so dialed in for so long. I mean, he's already had one perfect game.
Yeah.
Whatever he has taken, whatever the offense and the relationship he has with his OC, I've never seen a quarterback more dialed in. He looks like Joe Montana.
Here's what I appreciate about him is he, and I say this with a caveat that I'll get to in a minute. He does not try to do more than he can. He knows his limitations, and he plays within them. And there's a lot to be said for that.
You defined maturity right there.
But I think that has a hard ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's the same ceiling the Rams ran into when he was their quarterback for the Super Bowl. Like, yes, he can not blow a game for you, but if you get into a shootout.
AJ, he's past that. It's not blowing a game. He's playing perfect. It's not just not blowing a game. This guy is completing everything. If your guys are open, he's going to get them the ball. And past that, they're not dropping it. I mean, it is this. They are the best team in football right now. And I haven't seen, there's been great quarterbacks for 30 years. I'm not saying anything other than watching an offense where on time, on target is going to happen 99% of the time.
Yeah. No, there's something to be said for it. But
for weeks at a time.
There's also something to be said for the guys, the Mahomeses, the Josh Allens.
No question.
Who get 40 yards in a chunk.
No question. Because he is not going to do anything more than what we have seen.
Yeah.
Which is, it's pretty brilliant.
He's going to matriculate you down the field.
And
he's got guys who can do a lot after the catch, and that's valuable. Man, this offense is awesome. They are really awesome. And boy, Jordan Love, I don't know that the Packers should have played him yesterday. He looked like
who was more miserable, him or everybody in the stands?
Oh, I would have never gone to that game. I don't care how big of a fan I am. I'm not sitting in that garbage. Are you crazy? Bengals 41, Raiders 24. Have a day, Joe Burrow, 251 yards, 5 touchdowns. That is a blowout.
What did you say? He's good at football.
Good at sports.
He's good at sports.
Rams 26-20 winners in OT over the Seahawks.
Best coach in football.
And Minnesota Vikings 21-13 winners over the Colts. Sam Darnold, his head is so big it's got Shaq rules.
Orange on a straw, man. Orange on a straw.
They let him get beheaded, and they're like, oh, pick up the flag. Big deal. We'll be back. Talk some college hoops. Morning Huddle.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pregame starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working trouble spots on 35 northbound San Marcos. Downtown, that's a stall. It's off to the shoulder. Highway 90 eastbound General McMullen, right shoulder blocked with a minor accident. On 281 northbound at Isom, that's a broken down vehicle blocking the median. And in the Seguin area, Guadalupe County, I-10 eastbound approaching FM 725. That wreck is in the left lane. 10-12 minute delay has you slow from Schwab Road. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys went down hard yesterday, 27-21, in a tough loss to the Atlanta Falcons. UTSA took a big one over Memphis, 44-36. Owen McCown, 280 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Spurs took down the Timberwolves over the weekend, 113-103, play tonight in L.A. against the Clippers. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 3 of the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Man, it's busy. I feel like we're just got so much to do.
We do. And then we're going to go home and watch hoops tonight. How about that?
Oh, we get basketball.
Oh,
the
yes.
greatness that is Cooper Flag.
The greatness that is Cooper Flag.
You get some tonight, I think. You get to see Duke play Maine. I think that's on TV to see Cooper. We got, I think Texas is playing Ohio State tonight in some sort of early tourney. So at least they're giving us
They're playing out in Vegas.
Yeah. Oh.
That's right. And Baylor Gonzaga, the main event, the main course after Monday Night Football. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay up and watch that whole game. I want to watch it, but I don't know if I can stay up for that.
And then we got Spurs tipping at 9:30. The West Coast swing is a killer, but might be worth a tip just to see a little bit of the new Clippers arena. I haven't seen any of it other than the weird scoreboard.
Yeah. So from let's stay at the state of Texas level. I think we can agree the best basketball team in the state is the Houston Cougars. And then I think you get to a grouping of Baylor, Tech, A&M, and Texas that are all very respectable. And depending on how things fall, I think any of those teams could be the number 2 team in the state.
And don't discount SMU and TCU either. They've got some skill there. The Texas, the entire state, the basketball programs are stellar. I would say they're ahead of football right now.
Yeah, it's hard to argue.
I mean, the state of Texas has become a hotbed of high school basketball, schoolboy basketball, and it's showing. Teams are recruiting well, and Texas is still a national program, as is Baylor. So if you're good, those 2 schools are always going to be on people's lists.
Yeah, this is they may have in Houston maybe the best team in the country.
Kelvin Sampson is such a program developer. I mean, wherever he goes, if given time. Now, he hasn't always done it the cleanest way, and what was is not what it is. But as far as X's and O's and the type of player he creates, he doesn't make NBA players. He makes great college players. Those are the guys he gets, and some of them turn into NBA types. But for the most part, he creates great, tough college basketball types, the kind that college basketball fan appreciates because they're normally older. His guys normally play 2, 3, 4 years. They're mature. They play rough and tough basketball. And in March, man, it matters.
UConn Huskies, your favorite to win the national title. Again, they are 9-1 preseason. The Kansas Jayhawks, Duke Blue Devils, and Alabama Crimson Tide, all 10-1. Houston, 15-1. I think there might be value there.
Where's Rutgers?
They are, I think they're 30-1. I'm looking at DraftKings, so I can't. They're New Jersey schools.
The reason
aren't
I
on
have them
DraftKings,
deep is the reason I even mentioned.
They've got two of the top recruits in the country.
They're worth the watch just to see Ace Bailey and the other kid escapes my name.
But here's the thing.
Worth to see.
That would have been a big deal 5 years ago. I don't think having two great freshmen matters now.
No, but
because now, it's better if you can get two great senior transfers.
That's
it's
exactly
so
it.
much better.
That is what college basketball has become. No, they're not going to win. Well, they're going to win a fair amount just because of the talent. But I'm just talking about the show that these two guys can put on, because we're talking about two top 10 picks.
North Carolina and Gonzaga 18-1. Iowa State 22-1. Baylor, Arizona at 25-1. Auburn and Arkansas at 28-1, the Calipari bump.
Yeah.
Kentucky 35-1. Purdue without Zach Edey 40-1. Indiana and Creighton at 45. St. John's and Tennessee at 50. The two Michigan schools at 55. Then you get all the way down to 60-1, and you've got Ohio State, Florida, UCLA, and Texas. A little further down, Illinois, Miami, Xavier, and Texas Tech at 70-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then Texas A&M is in a grouping with Maryland, Marquette, Louisville, Kansas State, and Texas A&M at 75.
It's funny how the teams you just mentioned in the group they're in, they play a lot like those teams. You know,
Yeah.
they're rough and tough, and you gotta have to outscore them. I mean, you're gonna have to score some points because they're gonna play defense all day long.
Yeah, and I like A&M in their matchup tonight. One game, but I like them over Central Florida. I don't think Central Florida is going to be very good. I like what A&M's bringing back.
So play, yeah, they're a good team in a very good conference. Not the Big 12. While we will hope for a one bid in the playoff, that Big 12 basketball roster. The reason some of those numbers are so high is because they have to survive the conference they're in. If a lot of these teams were someplace else, the odds would be a whole lot better.
Yeah, the Big 12. Let me see if I can pull up Big 12 title odds. Big 12 regular season conference winner. You've got 5 teams better than 10-1. Kansas, Houston, Iowa State, Baylor, and Arizona.
All of those will be a 3-seed or above, every one of them.
And then next here you've got Cincinnati, Tech, BYU, Kansas State, West Virginia. Then you get down a little further. You've got TCU, Utah, UCF, Colorado, and then you can forget about Arizona State and Oklahoma State. But how far has Oklahoma State basketball fallen?
There's such. It's funny you bring that up because I just saw where I guess of all the alums out there, radio host Doug just fell out of my brain. Gottlieb. He's coaching some kind of semi-pro basketball team. And he posted something like, hey, I'm bringing in my basketball team. Oklahoma State's everything about me. You guys are upset because there's no there. He's mad at his fans, and he's calling out the Oklahoma State fan. Like, you are the fan. What they went through with the penalties, the coaching issues, and then the radical change of OU leaving, they were hit hard. But I'll tell you what, Oklahoma State recruits Texas well. They'll be back faster than you'd expect because this conference is so good that you can go to Oklahoma State, play against NBA guys every night, and get yourself ready to go to the league. I mean, it's worth going to a school like that just because of the competition you get every night.
Oklahoma State was at their best, just like Duke was, at a time when their head coach looked just like their mascot. So, miss you, Eddie Sutton.
God rest his soul. Rip, one of the greatest. Yes, sir.
But, yeah, so college hoops tips off tonight. Like I said, the main event, I believe, is that Baylor-Gonzaga game. Which, you know what's disappointing about that? And I get why they're doing it, because you want to fit more people in the building, but they're playing at like the big arena in Spokane instead of in the kennel, instead of like on the campus.
I didn't know that. So
that's a tough break for Gonzaga, because you'd love to fill that place up with just your people and have it be loud and obnoxious. And instead they're going for more ticket sales, I guess, but That is I mean, because and I guess you see it more early with the tournaments and stuff that happen in, like, Texas and Ohio State are playing in Vegas at T-Mobile.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
But I games like that I'd love to see on a home floor.
I'll tell you, it is hard to get people to agree to go to Spokane. Let me tell you, you think I want to go in there and play you in your building? You're going to have to pay me a lot of money, and we're going to have to do it in early October because you're heading in for an ass whooping. I mean, that's just it's a pit to go in there. Kudos to Coach Drew for even taking this because as much as you're favored and probably should beat them, it ain't easy to beat Coach Few anywhere, especially at home. I don't care whether it's in the big building or not. That's a tough ask.
Gonzaga's favorite, if I'm not mistaken.
They should be.
They're up to -5.
They still got Nemhard. He's still around there, and that's enough.
Yeah, that's a good team, man. I'll throw out one other game that is probably not on the radar of a lot of people, and it's actually going to start at 2 o'clock our time. Santa Clara and St. Louis. That sounds really dumb, but Santa Clara, who keeps putting guys in the NBA, and St. Louis just hired a new coach, Josh Schertz, the coach from Indiana State last year.
Who had a good team. Did he bring anybody with him?
Kept putting good teams together. I think he did bring some guys with him. So I think SLU is going to be better, but Santa Clara right out of the gate is going to be a very good test for them. So I don't know what TV channel that's going to be on. Probably going to be on YouTube or some garbage like that.
Someplace deep.
But yeah, that should be a low-key, under-the-radar good game today if you're looking for some afternoon delight, as the kids say. In fact, the first game of the day tips off at 11 a.m. Southern Illinois, College of Charleston.
The Saluki versus the Chanticleers, I do believe.
Is that it?
I believe so.
The is that their College of Charleston?
I think so.
I think you're right. But yeah, so I welcome back college hoops.
Good day, baby. It's a good day.
It is College of Charleston's the Cougars.
They're the Cougars. Which one? Charleston. There's something in Charleston named after a weird chicken.
Is that the what's the thing in Hawaii called where they go and play the they play that tournament there every year and they have their one random team that's hanging out?
The one that beat Virginia years and years ago.
Yeah.
I can only process one thing at a time.
Okay. But either way,
that's a good thing for the Brigade Bar.
That's a Coastal Carolina's the Chanticleers.
That's it. I knew there was the
Chants, but I can't think of what that thing is. What the mascot is for that team. The Maui Invitational always has the home team play, and I can't think of what their team is called right now off the top of my head for some reason. But I forget. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there.
Chaminade.
The Chaminade. So not the Chanticleers. Chaminade.
A Marianist institution.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Brother Chaminade, Father Chaminade.
Now it makes all the sense in the world.
Central Catholic Buttons know all about this guy.
Yeah?
Trust me.
Okay. Your kids probably could have. Why didn't your kid go play ball?
I think if the offer would have come, I would have certainly promoted it.
Yeah. Hey,
go play on the coast.
Hawaii.
Yeah, go play on the beach. Might not ever see you play, but you'll have a good time.
Worse things. All right. When we come back, we'll take a look at the losers of the weekend. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
A little rain today. Streets seemed a lot wetter.
Wetter, huh?
Wetter.
They were wetter?
The wetter, the better.
Were they not moist where you came from?
Well, moist is one thing. Wet is another.
So when you left your house,
it was moist.
It was moist.
And
by the time you got to work, it was wet.
Yeah.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What is GMTVCC? That's a mouthful, but translation for GMTVCC.com is Give Me the VIN Classic and Collector Cars. It's a brand new buying division of Give Me the VIN, but it's for classic and collector cars. Experienced pro buyers will appraise an offer on your 1970 Hemi Cuda, or 1988 Fox Body Mustang, or your granddad's old 1985 square body Chevy truck. GMTVCC.com is where you go to get real money for classic and collector cars to get paid now. That's GMTVCC.com, brought to you by Give Me the VIN.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch,
Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
Hello. My name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400, that's 210-900-0400, or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Boom, 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 bidadoo, boom. Boom, bidadoo, boom. All right. Lots of winners this weekend. But for every winner, Rob, there's a loser. We really got to get some production.
I was going to say, right then, that was a great setup for whatever the intro would have been.
It would have been awesome. Man.
So, hey, Suit, if you're listening.
Yeah, let's tell
Mark the tape.
The big boss that we need some production for losers.
All right, I'll kick it off this week. Let's go with the low-hanging fruit. Dak Prescott.
Easy.
Low-hanging fruit. Man, things are bad. I understand. Now you're hurt. There's one thing you know as the starting quarterback, the face of the franchise, is you have to be the positive one. You've always been that guy. When you are sitting on the sideline and it is obvious that you're saying, we effing suck.
Yeah, not a good look.
That's just about the worst thing that you can do. That's one of those things that you do get called to see the boss. There's certain things about etiquette, and you know better. This isn't your rookie year. We know you suck. They know they suck. You just can't say it out loud.
Yeah,
Or
especially
can
where
you?
people can see it.
Yeah, I think some
well, you know
players
what?
can,
You know
but
what,
I don't
then?
think Dak can.
If you're going to say it there, get up on the podium and
Maybe
say
that's it. Say we
Stop
suck.
lying and saying, "Oh, we're right there. We're right on the brink of really getting over the hump or whatever."
So it's not that he's wrong at all. It's just circumstance that I'm going to put you in the loser category because that's really that's the last straw on the camel's back. When you are the one saying, "Oh no, we suck."
Look, here you go.
Yeah, obviously, as I said, for me to be able to heal fast, as I said, I think CD's just banged up. Nothing serious there. Other guys getting back, being healthy, and some games that are all in front of us. A lot of division games start next week, right? Our second one of the year. That sometimes this league, it just takes one. It takes one to get it going, to get that confidence back, to feel good, and rally from there. So not looking too far ahead. It's about getting our bodies back and healthy tomorrow, and then trying everything in our power to put our best performance next week at home against a good Philly team.
It just takes one to get our season back on track. But I thought you said that we bleeping suck. Like, just stand up there and own it. Be like, I don't know if I'm going to play because do I really want to risk my long-term health for on a lost season? We friggin' suck.
Or just come out and say, I got paid. I don't know if this is the worst thing that ever happens to me.
I saw a great AI is a gift and a curse, isn't it? I saw a Deshaun Watson AI press conference where he was like, I tore my Achilles because my lawyer won't let me get within 200 feet of a massage therapist. My leg was tight, so I felt it pop. And he's like, but I don't really care because I'm paid anyway. Y'all could amputate my foot, and I got all those millions coming. I was like, this is so great. Why? Because it looked just like that's what he was saying. I love it, but I know it's going to come back and haunt us one of these days.
This sucks. It's awful, but I got to go cash my check and go see my baby.
I agree with Dak being a loser. I'll go with Dabo Swinney being a loser. And Dabo, the dinosaur, as I like to call him, everything was in front of him. And you could not come up with anything against Louisville at home. The world was your oyster. You're headed to the playoffs. And you couldn't come up with any more creative play calling than that. Like, I want to rip into Cade Klubnik, but then at the end of the day, I'm like, this is what Dabo does to quarterbacks now. This is what he does. And I just don't understand when what he's done in the past will stop carrying his reputation. Because I don't think he is a viable high-level college football coach anymore. In the day of NIL and transfer, I just think he's fallen behind, and also as a play caller, I think he's fallen behind. So Dabo makes my loser list this week.
I want Dabo to not be alone here. I'm bringing in Sam Pittman, your head coach at Arkansas. Over the weekend, the Arkansas Razorbacks welcomed in Jackson Dart and Ole Miss. Got beat 63-31.
Is that good?
Jackson Dart threw for 515 yards and 6 touchdowns, which is one thing. But there's a dude that's playing for Ole Miss named Jordan Watkins who caught 8 passes for 254 yards. I think you might want to focus on that guy. Sam Pittman is the epitome of Arkansas's idiocy over the last 20 years of hiring football coaches. from Brent Bulima to Bobby Petrino to the number of idiots that have walked through the Arkansas line. It is just astounding that Sam Pittman is still employed at Arkansas. You get what you deserve. You've got Walton money. You've got Tyson Chicken money. You can go get a coach on the basketball side of things. Go invest in your football program because that was embarrassing.
I'll stick with the coaching theme and go with Lincoln Riley. Remember, so it's one thing to be 4-5 this season and probably headed towards not making it to a bowl game. It's another thing to remember that they lost 5 of their last 6 last year. So that means in your last, I guess 15 regular season games.
Didn't they have a Heisman candidate, a Heisman winner?
They did.
Oh.
Yeah. They are an absolute mess. I don't know. Again, this guy has been a quarterback whisperer for a long time, but it might have just been he just had a couple badass quarterbacks, and maybe it was more them than him.
It's hard to argue. It feels like, I watched Texas was ready to get into the SEC. They had recruited appropriately. They knew 3 years.
Yes.
Hey, we got to get the right dudes. We might not win a game today, but trust me, we're going to be happy we have these guys. Feels like Oregon saw this coming and went and got the right dudes, and USC got the call late. Like, oh, crap, we're going to the Big Ten?
Seriously?
I'm not ready.
The Big Ten?
We don't have snow guys. I got fast guys that like sunshine. You got none of that? And it looks like they weren't prepared. They didn't have the right dudes to go into the Big Ten and play on grass and slow fields and stiff defenses and winds and weather. They're not equipped, and Oregon is.
What's hilarious is UCLA was the team that was supposed to be the least prepared. USC's worse than UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Pathetic. What a loser.
Well, we'll round out our head coaches, and he probably should be number one in James Franklin. That was there's nothing worse than proving a point. There's nothing worse than proving what everybody believes. There's nothing
and costing me money in this
than
process.
Seeing like little things like there's nothing worse than seeing, you know what? Per capita, Asians don't drive very well. And then you drive by and you see an accident and you see some Asian woman sitting, you go, well, it's just nothing worse than just proving it wrong. Like, hey, I'm an Aggie. There's nothing worse than, you know what? They're going to lose this. Yeah, we lost it.
Yeah.
Yep. James Franklin, you proved your point. You are exactly what you thought you were, and there's nothing worse than that.
I don't know that I would have gone with James Franklin
He
equates
coaches
to
like
an Asian driver.
middle-aged Asian woman drives
but
to Mahjong. I don't know. Proved a point.
All right.
I'm not ashamed. I've got statistics to back it up. Those are numbers. It's true.
I'm going to go with another head coach, but I'm going to go to the pro level. Dennis Allen, you lost to the Carolina Panthers?
Yes.
Are you kidding me? This dude is like every week coaching for his job. And there's a couple that you got to be like, all right, we got to get this one. Like we ain't going to win a lot of games this year. I get it. Remember, the Saints started out 2-0 because
I witnessed one of them.
And their first 2 games, they won by a combined score of 91-19. They have not won a game since. And losing to the Carolina Panthers, when you got your starting quarterback back in the building, they just have to fire this dude. That is 7 straight losses for Dennis Allen. I told you at the beginning, this is the worst coach in the NFL. He is a dum-dum. He is a dope. I don't know why they're continuing to roll him out there. He's dreadful. Stop the count. Get him out of here. It's over, Johnny. It's not going to get better for Dennis Allen. It's not.
Did I see Taysom Hill get a touchdown?
I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you did.
There it is right there. He can coach.
But Dennis Allen continues to be an absolute loser.
What do you
now
do,
in last place behind the Panthers in the division. Oh, what a loser!
What do you do? I mean, legit,
dude, hire him and let a.
Do you pull a Raider and just
let
who's your favorite guy?
Mardi Gras street performer take the job? We'll be better than him.
Do you fire him, and who's the most popular coach in the locker room, and let him just finish out?
Yes, anything. Just get him away so you're not tempted, because otherwise he'll win 3 of the last 4, and Mickey Loomis will go, well, I'll give him one more year. And then you'll get one more year of this. The guy can't coach. He's terrible. Okay, we could talk about James Franklin all we want. Like, at least James Franklin, there's moments where you go, okay,
he's won 90 games there.
Yeah, guy keeps winning a lot of football games. Dennis Allen, this is his history. 4-12, 4-12, 0-4, fired. 7-10, 9-8, 2-7. So in his best year of his life, he went 9-8. The guy is 26-53 in his career as a head coach.
I'm trying to think who was the
sub 33%.
That's right out there with the worst of all time.
I can't imagine how. And this is his 6th season as an NFL head coach. Who can be that bad for 6 seasons
with a couple of teams?
Loser.
Well, Dennis Allen.
Loser.
Oh, let's go with Zeke. How do you get fired on your day off? Zeke.
What the hell, Zeke?
Zeke, you can't even get on the plane.
We got to talk about this in the next segment. We're going to talk Cowboys in the next segment again. I got to figure this out. I don't understand it.
How bad is it? I mean, it's not like, and Dowdle's, you played a pretty decent football game, but how bad do you have to be not to be allowed to go to a game?
I got to know what's going on.
What they're dealing with. Zeke, I don't know if he was the voice of reason they couldn't let get on the plane or whatever the case is. I don't know what happened, but it must be pretty desperately bad not to be taken because they kind of needed him, I would have thought.
My last loser will be the entire Big 12 conference.
Oh, you stole one. All right.
Iowa State and Kansas State going down in the same day. It's pretty much assured that the Big 12 champion is the only team from the Big 12 that will be in the playoff. The ACC actually might be in the same boat. I'll put them in losers when that's a certainty, but I don't see a path for any of these teams because if BYU loses one game, the committee's going to be waiting to get them out of there because they're a bunch of frauds. And Iowa State losing to Texas Tech at home, dude, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Texas Tech with a banged-up quarterback, too, came in and beat them. Big 12, and that's one extra check that every team in the conference loses out on.
Cost of money, and you can't argue that it's like it's like the SEC. We're all so good, you never know. It's not that. We're all so bad.
No,
you never
you all
know.
stink, and everybody's like, Colorado's 4-1. Colorado stinks too. They play in the Big 12. They all stink. They're all a bunch of losers. All right, when we come back, we'll talk some more Cowboys. Speaking of losers, it's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dr. Jacob Torres, I ran into him on Friday afternoon. He came by to record a spot around the building. When you work with a physician, my dad told me a long time ago, find a doctor and grow old with him. Find a doctor that understands what you're going through. He's a guy a little bit younger than I am, but every time I meet with Dr. Torres, he gets me excited again. See, I've been going to see Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health for about 7 years now. When I first met him, I weighed about 300 pounds. I run around about 230, 235 on a regular. I'm still in a process, but I'm nearly 70 pounds down now. And the reason has been because he taught me how to lose weight. And that sounds basic, but it's not. And so many of us have tried to lose weight using a variety of things if you ever wanted to. You read a book, you tried some kind of crash thing, ate nothing but broccoli for a week, whatever it might be. And you might have lost some weight, but you gained even more back to the point where you just didn't want to do it anymore. And I met him at that point. And I also met him thinking, I'm not going to be this weight. This is just what it's going to be. And all those little side ailments, well, that's just part of life. And he very quickly told me, you start losing weight, you're going to feel better. And once you start feeling better, losing weight gets easier and easier. And that process just becomes part of your life. And once you do that, then you're living the lifestyle you need. That's why Dr. Torres and the IFF have been so successful. Go check out his website and see why. because he puts together programs specifically for you. He understands what your triggers are and all those things that make you go someplace you might not want to. Call him today at 210-468-1891. Go to his website. But if you've decided it's time to lose weight, there is no better option out there. Trust me on this. Call Dr. Torres today. He'll change your life. And when he does, come by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you get into your commute, 35 southbound, that off-ramp to Olympia Parkway, that's partially blocked. So about a 5-minute delay has you stop and go from Schertz Parkway. Highway 90 eastbound General McMullen District now off to the right shoulder. On 281 southbound Redland Road on down to San Pedro, that's about a 10-12-minute ride. And should take you about 15 minutes on 90 eastbound 211 on over to Loop 410. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. Even if she accidentally knocks out a side accent diamond, Diamonds Direct will replace it free. Now, other stores claim to offer warranties, but the catch is that they won't honor it unless you bring your ring in for regular inspections. But at Diamonds Direct, inspections are never required. There's no gotcha clause. No fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Plain and simple, at Diamonds Direct, we stand behind what we sell, and we're committed to service it at no charge for life, period. It's all part of our commitment to provide you with the ultimate in value and total confidence before, during, and long after your purchase. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Attention, Dallas Cowboys fans. Twin Peaks is giving away epic Cowboys jerseys all season just for catching game day with them. And with 4 San Antonio locations, get to Twin Peaks for every boys game for your chance to win. Ask your Twin Peaks girl for more details.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out our tractor package deals. We're offering 0 down and 0 APR financing for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners. Country boy is all I'll ever be. The American As It Gets Tour. February 6th, Majestic Theater. Am I the only one? Tickets on sale now at MajesticEmpire.com. Take a bullet for being more free. At AaronLewisMusic.com. I'm American as it gets. Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners. American As It Gets Tour.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
1, 2, 3,
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is all cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, yeah, it's like a Gatorade commercial. Remember that Gatorade commercial where they were the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See these guys in New Orleans or on Beale Street.
Oh, I thought this
bottle
was...
caps on their shoes.
I thought this was the Blue Man Group.
Well, also drumming on buckets. Where they're drumming on buckets and tap dancing with bottle caps on their shoes.
Yeah.
That's how I went through college.
No, well, good for you, man.
Dancing on the corner.
You imagine... That's what... You should have been the dancing riverboat captain.
I would throw down sand and do a little bit of...
Be crashing your boat all the time because you're too busy dancing.
Because I could do the spoons.
Rob, you crashed another boat. What the hell was going on? Well, I was dancing.
Dude, I've crashed boats in ways you can't even imagine. Nothing like crashing a boat full of people.
Whoops!
It's a dinner table, and you spill everything.
Whoops! Rob's playing on his phone.
He's playing the spoons, practicing for my street gig. Got a little performance for you guys.
Ham bone. You ever heard of ham bone?
You ever seen anybody play the spoons? Or the guys that on the side of the band that just play their leg?
Yeah, that's ham bone. Ham bone.
That's called
Ham bone.
I'm going to play my leg. You play your mouth.
That's right. Ham boning. Dallas Cowboys lose a nail biter. I say a nail biter. The score was closer than it felt like.
It sure was closer than you felt like.
But every close loss the Cowboys have this year is that. The Niners loss was a 6-point loss. The Ravens was a 3-point loss. Those weren't close games. Those were blowouts that ended up not being blowouts. This one was, I guess it was a little closer, but it wasn't really. I mean, they scored with a minute and a half left to cut it to one score. But the Cowboys, this is the first time this season where I've been willing to say they're just bad. I thought the Cowboys this week would show up because I thought maybe people were like, okay, we're so down on this team that people forget that they still have some good players. Mm-hmm. But it turns out if Dak is a good player, he's not showing it. Dak was pathetic. And I get hurt or whatever.
No, he's pathetic. It's just not there. I don't know why it's not there. It has been there before, but it ain't there now, and they're not even close. It's not like they're just a whisper away from a crackling offense, that just a couple things are off, and maybe a bad interception here or there might have changed things. No, you can't get out of first down. You're stuck in second and long and third and impenetrable. You can't run the ball. The sideways passing game isn't effective because your wide receivers are no threat to pull anybody off the line of scrimmage. And your one good wide receiver, you force feed to the point the guy can barely move.
Dak, after that game, you want to know where he is in QBR?
Gosh, I can't imagine how low it is.
I'll give you the 4 names in front of him. This is going down in descending order to Dak. Bo Nix.
Rookie.
And by the way, if we go up a little bit further, we can do Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith.
Well, at the beginning of the year, if you'd have told me he'd have been grouped with these guys, I'd have thought it'd been all right.
Daniel Jones.
Except him.
Dak Prescott.
Danny Dimes.
Number 25 is Dak Prescott. Daniel Jones is 24. Number 26 is Jacoby Brissett. So Dak Prescott, so far in QBR this year, is sandwiched between Daniel Jones and Jacoby Brissett.
Let's just address this. Can we agree that he's not that bad? That's not Dak Prescott.
It shouldn't be. No.
It shouldn't. But we know just by he's got enough in the bank to know this ain't Dak. Now, Dak ain't on the other side of that scale either, but this ain't him. We have 8 years of proof that it ain't him. So why is it? Why are they here? Because I think part of it is Dak getting paid. I think part of it's that. You take the foot off the gas just a little bit when you sign a contract. That means you'll never have to work another day for the rest of your life, and neither will your kids or the grandkids. I get that. But there's more to it. So where and why? Is it because there's no running game? Is it because CD got here late and there's nobody on the other side that he trusts? Is it because the offensive line is terrible? Is it because the balance issue comes into play where they can't try to protect the problems with the offense because they're always behind? I mean, where is the flaw? Because I'm not going to lay it 100% on Dak.
I mean, I think it's fair not to lay it all on him, but when you have the zeros attached to your name that he does,
you're right.
You have to eat it all.
But I can't fix that. This is what it is. Dak's not going anywhere. So what do I got to do as a franchise to get him back to where he was? Obviously, it's a depth and talent. Well, obviously, there's a problem with the offensive line.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're always behind, so there's a dearth in play calling ability because you got to close half your book. They don't have a running game. So
you have one good receiver.
You got one very good one, but it ain't. It's so far away from even being there yet with your good receiver.
Well, that's why I said you're going to have to find a way to get
day one
draft capital.
So we got a trade deadline tomorrow, right? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
So what do you do if you're Jerry when you wake up this morning? What's your first order of business? Knowing if I'm at rock bottom, what is my first step back into the sunlight?
I mean, like I said earlier in the show, I really think you should consider strongly trading Micah Parsons.
All right, so there's a for sale sign up.
If you can get a Khalil Mack type haul, I think you have to do that.
Do you think there's enough time to manufacture a deal that would involve two or okay? So let's start. What's the other step? If that ain't the first step, that might be step 3 in the offseason. So what's the first step today? Is it? Do I shuffle the deck with my coaches? Because, my gosh, I got enough pre-snap penalties to blame.
Ain't gonna help anything.
Okay, so if it's not that, what is it just, well, hold on tight, boys, it's about to get bad.
It's like they say in when you're in prison and things are not going your way.
Lean back and enjoy it.
Sometimes it's better to just whisper sweet nothings into his ear and hope that it ends faster.
You know, seriously, I mean, when he woke up this morning and he's already up, what was the first thing he did? Going, gosh, this is worse than I ever imagined. Though everybody around him is telling me included, dude, we saw this coming.
There is nothing that can be done to fix this season.
Okay, so knowing that, so that's an operating plan. I can't fix today. I can work on tomorrow. So what's the step for tomorrow? The trade, right? Let's start acquiring talent as fast as possible.
The other thing I'm doing is I'm starting to make phone calls to the guys that I want coaching this football team. At least guys that aren't unavailable right now. Like obviously you can't call Detroit,
but I can call his agent.
Or I can call Mike Vrabel. I can call Bill Belichick. I can call a lot of people.
Yep.
But I at least start kicking the tires on things and planning for that because
other people are going to come chasing these guys soon.
You want to be first in line.
Yep.
And there's plenty of other teams that are going to fire their coach. Firing your coach is not going to do you any good this year.
I agree.
It won't do you anything. Firing Mike McCarthy, like there's no one. What are you going to do? Give Mike Zimmer the reins? You seen this defense?
There's no there.
There's nothing.
But knowing that, I think if I'm Jerry, I've got to get on the phone and start talking to dudes to take this job.
Yep.
I mean, and I can't talk about it openly, but for my own sanity, if I'm Jerry, I wake up this morning just to make me feel like coming to work. I call Belichick and I call Vrabel and I call the agent for whoever, and maybe it is Dan Campbell. I can't imagine prying him away, but I'm calling everybody.
And I got get his OC. You're probably in good shape.
And I'm just hanging it out there. Whoever comes to Dallas will be, if it's a name, will be the highest paid coach in NFL history.
Yeah,
because it's going to take that to get me here.
Okay, I mean, then maybe that's the move. But yeah, I think you have to get ahead of it, and it'd be nice if you could get something negotiated with the full knowledge that, hey, this isn't going to be public, but after week 17, we're going to have a press conference. We're going to say this has happened. We're moving on from this coaching staff, and the next day, or knowing Jerry, it's like whenever I feel like the timing's right for the media,
exactly,
I'm going to announce that insert name is the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But I don't want I want him to be like, hey, this is a handshake deal, Bubba. I don't want anybody else swooping in on you.
I got to say, you don't even need that. Just say, just make sure you call me last.
Like the Saquon Barkley?
Whatever it is. Yeah, well, just make sure you call me last. You go interview with anybody you want. You're going to interview with me, but before you sign anything, call me. You might be surprised at what I'll do.
No, you're right. But yeah, to me, that's got to be the next step, because this year is beyond repair. This is a quite frankly just a bad football team. The offensive line sucks. There are no weapons outside of CeeDee Lamb, and now I think he's hurt.
All right. As far as on the field, Trey Lance start?
If
If
Dak
Dak's
can't go
gone for any period, even a week, I mean, probably not against Philly. That'd probably be a little bit much to ask. But it is a homer, and what do I got to lose? But if Dak's out a month, which wouldn't shock me, we'll hear some sound in a bit about it. He's never felt this before. If he's out for a little bit of time, does Trey get the ball, or do you just go with your backup, who will probably be here for a while anyway?
I think you just go with your backup, because this is the month where you get into the weird 3 games in 10 days. Like, if you're going to go to Trey Lance, again, I don't think he's going to be gone that long. But if you're going to go to Trey Lance, I say you go to him after the Thanksgiving game, or after the Giants game after Thanksgiving. Is that right? Who's on Thanksgiving? Commanders no? It's the Giants on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So the next game after that would be the Bengals game.
So have him close it out. That would make some sense. But I think another thing about just providing some sanity and getting some, something to move you forward, I got to start looking at Lance on the field just to see it.
But again, he sucks too.
Well, you never know.
I do know. That's the thing. That's why I say there's no fix. Like, you're not. Trey Lance isn't going to fix it. There's nobody on this roster that's fixing anything.
But if nothing else, maybe he plays well enough to be part of a deal.
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, he's leaving under no matter what.
He's not going to be back
at the end
next
of a
year.
contract. But the way I look at it, if you wake up going, all right, I will accept my fate and start stepping forward, then maybe you can start making some progress. But until you accept your fate, progress is not going to happen.
But I'll tell you what, I mean, if you lose your next 2 games, I'm not even running. I don't know if I'm running Dak back out there again this year.
I'm not kidding. Yeah,
there's clearly something physically wrong with Dak. I think, like, he hasn't looked right all year, and it goes back to where he was wearing that boot. Like, where was he, fishing or whatever? Like, who wears a boot fishing for a surgery you had 3 years ago? Unless something's really wrong.
Well, if that's the case, that ain't cured. We're dealing with
That's what I'm saying.
Well, then why do you sign a dude to that kind of contract if you had any kind of inkling that his ankle was as unstable as possible? And we can tell by the progress. He doesn't run the ball.
No.
Although he had a nice little turn yesterday.
Jerry, I don't want him running. I like to protect my assets.
Well, I get it.
But if that's the case, you lose the next 2 or 3 games.
That's why.
Hey, it looks like Dak's going to head to the IR. He's not going to return this season. He's done for the year. And let Dak go get his body right. You go talk to Aaron Rodgers. See if you can go see his shaman. Do something. Get your freaking foot fixed so you can at least be somewhat mobile. I don't need you to run. I need you to be able to move. And because that's another big issue. Behind this offensive line, I got news for you, man. It's going to be like this next year.
Yeah.
Because you won't. How many draft picks you think you got?
I would also. This is also a tryout for my offensive coordinator, man. You're gonna have to show me something shoddy, because this has been an abject, absolute failure. Now, there's a lot of chefs going on here, but you're part of the problem. This is a tryout for you too, and it might be with a Trey Lance. You got no offensive line that's got a quarterback in there that can move around a little bit. Maybe we'll get a little activity, a little Marcel Reed kind of stuff. But until then, accept your fate and get better. by the little steps today that won't show anything. And that's always been the Cowboys' problem. So we'll see if Jerry woke up mad. Let's see if he woke up with a for sale sign on it, or will he be resolute in his failure and his inability to accept the fact that he made some terrible decisions.
Think about this. There was an article written today by Bill Barnwell on ESPN. The headline is Most Disappointing NFL Teams. 4 teams that had playoff hopes and have had disastrous seasons. Browns, Jags, Saints, Cowboys. Imagine that's who you're lumped in with now.
And
think about
rightfully
that.
So, yeah.
Think about it.
All for the same reasons.
And that's when it hit me today that they're just no good, because in my mind I've been saying, well, there's still there's still room and talent where they can make something happen. And then I think about those other teams that are in the exact same boat, and it's like, no, I've come to the grips that those are just bad teams. The Saints stink.
Under-talented, and what little talent they have, the money is disproportionately piled on that little talent.
Yes, and there's no point in pretending anymore that the Cowboys can do something this year. They suck.
It's a moment of clarity, AJ. It's a moment of clarity.
I'm not on them, but we bleeping suck. Yes, you're right, Dakota. You bleeping suck. You know who doesn't suck? Jeff Traylor. What a win this weekend.
Sir!
We'll talk to him next. Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to sasportstar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at sasportstar.com.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. With Progressive Insurance, you can make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese sauce. Bacon. You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
George gets justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you get into your commute, 35 southbound, that off-ramp to Olympia Parkway, that's partially blocked. So about a 5-minute delay as you stop and go from Schertz Parkway. Highway 90 eastbound General McMullen, this wreck now off to the right shoulder. On 281 southbound Redland Road on down to San Pedro, that's about a 10-12-minute ride. And it should take you about 15 minutes on 90 eastbound 211 on over to Loop 410. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys went down hard yesterday, 27-21, in a tough loss to the Atlanta Falcons. UTSA took a big one over Memphis, 44-36. Owen McCown, 280 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Spurs took down the Timberwolves over the weekend, 113-103, play tonight in L.A. against the Clippers. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Little breaking news. After hearing our losers segment and the compelling argument that I made, the New Orleans Saints have fired Dennis Allen as their head coach, thus ending the national nightmare of anyone thinking that Dennis Allen was good enough to coach an NFL football team.
So will never grace the sidelines of an NFL as a head coach
God,
ever again. Mickey Loomis finally, I guess, coming to his senses.
Like, what other job? I mean, I guess they always say baseball's the only job where you can fail 70% of the time and be one of the best. Like, NFL head coach, you can't do that.
I'm trying to think of somebody that has been that bad for so long. Frank Reich's a pretty lousy head coach that kept getting jobs.
No, look at Frank Reich's record.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even close.
I'm trying to think of somebody else that has gotten repeated opportunities and has been this bad.
Dennis Allen was the worst. He was the worst head coach in the NFL.
So the Saints have lost their head coach. You know, Coach Traylor's son coaches over there with the Saints.
Well,
ask him if he's
maybe he'll get promoted. He should get the interim job, I believe.
Would you want that?
Why not?
Yikes!
Go get your. Maybe they'll call. You know what? I'm not going to wish them calling Coach Jeff on us. Let's go to the Buyers Barricade guest line to talk to the victorious head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners. Coach Jeff Traylor joins us on the program. Coach, happy day after or Monday after a win day. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Coach, a great win, obviously, but once again, the injuries are kind of piling up. What a spectacular win, and on that was, about 90% heart, and the rest, I'm going to give it all to you, Coach. What did you do, and what did you tell your kids to get ready for such a big game? Because you guys were in it from the get-go.
Yeah, I will say we thought we had a good plan because even though we are so beat up, we knew who was beat up and who was out. So even though we lost our entire secondary last week in the Tulsa at the end of that game, we had at least a week to prepare with the guys we had left. But during the game, right before the game started, Willie called me, and he had his baby, who's our top receiver, and he couldn't make it. He was going to try to make it, and that's when the Lord wanted his daughter to come. And then, so there goes your guy that's going to run most of those post routes and most of those go routes. Obviously, Chris Carper, number 5, had his share of them as well, but Willie had as many as Chris. And then Robert Henry broke his thumb, our tailback, catching a kick in pregame. And you're literally, like, you can see the look on my kids' faces like, we already were down 16 guys out of the 2 deep. Now we're down 18 guys. Like, who do we have left? And we were literally like, we didn't go turbo. We didn't go fast one time the whole game on offense. We literally almost huddled like old school NFL and basically told Chris where to line up and what route to run because he was the one fast guy we had left. And he played his tail off, as did Owen, as did our defense. And that's about as good as we could have done it. And we beat a really, really good football team. And we needed it coming off as the most crushing loss we've had ever at Tulsa, which was followed. That was right after the most crushing loss ever to Rice on the last play of the game. Of all the things I'd speak on, man, it's the character of our locker room that we haven't splintered yet, and we're still fighting like we are.
In this game, I mean, the final score being 44-36, I mean, it wasn't even as close as the final scores. They scored 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes to make it respectable, but it got to the point where it looked like maybe they were going to run away with this game middle of the second quarter, and you guys just kind of flipped the switch and had 6 straight scores, 6 unanswered scores. Like, what did you say to your guys when things started to spin away from you in the second quarter to get them on track and to get them going?
Well, I know we gave up 24 points, which looks hideous, but that's as good a defense as we played all year. The first drive, we had a clear interception. A great play by Cyrus Dumas. It was called a defensive pass interference penalty, so that killed that one. The second drive we had them stopped, and they called Gagne for hitting the quarterback when the kid slid in there. That's such a tough play for a football player when the guy takes the slide that late. That's 14 points. So I really thought they only earned 10 the first half. I wasn't as discouraged as everybody else was. Where I was nervous, we couldn't play offense better than we did. We were on fire. To put 24 points up with those tight ends and the play of our quarterback was incredible. I thought one of the biggest plays in the game, which doesn't really get talked about, we're down 24-14. It's third down. Owen scrambles and just knows that we're trying to get the ball to around the 37-yard line to give Tate a chance. And Owen got to about the 37. So, and then Tate made a huge kick that put it to 24-17. And then for us to stop them and go down the field and score right before halftime, that was a huge part of the game that people didn't really talk about.
What has changed with your quarterback from the start of the season till now? You've had your succession of quarterback play is obviously good. What has changed with him, and when did you know it was about to change? What did he do to turn himself into this? Because Saturday was spectacular.
I've always known that was in the kid. It's just getting the reps. And, I know I'm an apologist for my players at all times, and people get tired of it. But Frank Harris was no different when he was young with us. I mean, you just got to go through it. You got to get the reps. You just can't prepare them for all the things they're going to see. There's just too much out there. And this kid he's gotten the reps. The old 10,000-hour rule. Mm-hmm. What's more amazing is the injuries he's had to do. He's lost 3 all-conference linemen. He's lost all of his receivers almost. He's lost maybe a Hall of Fame tight end for us,
right?
In Oscar Cardenas, and he's basically carried the team. And I don't know if you look at him, he might not be 183 pounds.
No,
so
sir.
Only the physical toll, just the mental pressure of what the kid's been through this year. You're watching a star in the making. It's going to be a really, really fun 2.5 years for us to watch this kid left.
Is there any adjustment for your receivers with a left-hander? I'm a lefty. I know that it's different. Did you have to adjust anything for this?
Well, you got to remember Frank Harris did it lefty for 4 years.
I know. I mean, but as you do this,
years of left.
But there was some back and forth at the beginning of the year. You had 2 quarterbacks and a right and a lefty. Was there some adjustment to getting the guys all on the same page?
Again, I just think because our guys have seen where it's the hardest is on us, believe it or not, because your game plan. Because you remember Josh Atkins backed up Frank. Josh is a righty, Frank's a lefty. Well, now you got Eddie Lee backing up Owen. Eddie's a righty, Owen's a lefty. So just common sense tells you they both like to roll out to the side of their strength of their hand. So every one of your calls you have on your sheet, you've got to double call them. I mean, you can't just go into the game. There are a lot of college coaches that will not recruit left-handed kids. They only recruit right-handed quarterbacks, but they don't want to deal with having to double up every play call in your laundry list of plays.
Chris Sims once told me that John Gruden got mad at him for being left-handed. He's like, dude, I was left-handed when you drafted me.
That's so, and I know nobody really believes that, but it's really a real thing.
Coach, when you've got a guy like Owen McCown and you see the success he's having, you know that people are going to come after him in the offseason. What can you do to get something in place to make sure you keep a guy like that when you've got him?
Well, I do believe, when in July or June, whenever it actually the court case is totally settled of 25, when the schools take over, I think it'll be a model of like the NFL teams. Like you'll know what your budget is. You'll have this amount put back for your quarterback, your left tackle, your corner, your edge rusher, your wide receiver. You're kind of like the NFL does it, and you'll have honestly a salary cap for whatever we decide our budget is for our roster management. In the meantime, we got lucky. I coached his father in high school. His dad played in the league 18 years. His dad's not going to let that guy play for anybody else but me. So we're going to get to keep the kid. It's almost like having a Patrick Mahomes on a rookie contract for no better way of looking at it, because I don't want to take advantage of him. We don't have that kind of money to pay him anyway. So his father would rather us and our money and our budget when we start taking over for the school, spend it on a tackle, an edge rusher, some guys to help his son out, I would imagine. So I think we're going to dodge that bullet. Just because of the history I have with his family, and his father made a lot of money in the National Football League.
A little time off, Coach, to get well, or at least as well as you can. Then the old rival in North Texas. Tell us about what we should look forward to.
Yeah, I've known Chandler, the quarterback at North Texas, literally his entire life. I worked for his father, Chad. He's the number one quarterback in the country, and he is a ball playing Jesse now. He's very active. He's got a great arm. He was the starting quarterback at TCU, just couldn't stay healthy. And he went over there late, and he has ignited that team. They're a fun team to watch. They're very exciting. It's going to be a heck of a ball game in the Alamo Dome.
Coach, 41.6 points per game for North Texas. That is fourth nationally behind Miami, Boise, and Indiana. What are they doing to put up these kinds of numbers, and what can you do to counteract it?
They snap it really, really fast, and it all goes through Chandler. They've got really good schemes. Eric Morris has been a great coach for a long time. It's very Mike Leach looking. Eric played at Texas Tech. They're getting it out of his hand very quick. Great screen game. And just when you get to playing the pass too much, they'll run the ball well on you as well. So Chandler is the key. He keeps the drives alive. He runs around with his feet. He extends drives, and they play so fast, they're getting a lot of snaps off.
We watched Eric Morris grow into his game down here in San Antonio for a minute. Talk about North Texas quarterbacks. Memphis, that kid was from North Texas as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played for his father at Denton Ryan. His dad's name is Dave Hennigan, won multiple state championships here in the state. And Seth was a really good high school quarterback, and been up there. We played him my second year here up in Memphis, and Seth was the quarterback back then. So kind of like Frank, he's been the starter for a long, long time at Memphis.
2 of the last 3. That's what it'll take to get you to bowl eligibility. I'm guessing beating a team like Memphis, Memphis spent time being talked about as the G5 rep in the playoff this year. You guys made sure to end any of that discussion. But what kind of confidence does your team have right now compared to where they were at earlier this year?
With the success we've had, I did not know until obviously our sports media guy, Kyle Stevens, let us know. That's the first top 25 team we've ever beaten in the history of the school. I didn't even know that either.
Really?
So that gives your guys some hope. You know what I mean? And everybody keeps asking me about that. You can't get to 6 until you get to 5.
Yep.
And we're on 4 right now. So we got to get ready for this next one. The bye week, of the 18 kids that are out, you hope we can get 4 to 6 of those kids back. 12 of them are done for the year. But we need to get some guys back. And we need to get the ones we have a little more healthy. So that'll be the focus this week, that in North Texas, obviously.
Oh, congrats, Coach.
Yep.
That's the biggest win of the season by far, and what it sounds like one of the biggest wins in your career here in San Antonio. We're looking forward to the game. By the way, let me ask you real quick. You guys have 2 games in a row on Fridays. You guys, how's your preparation change for those games that are kind of on the off days?
Yeah, well, a Sunday of this week will be what's normally Tuesday for us. So every day just bumps up a day. They get off for Monday for school. That's their class day. So everything just bumps up a day. So we'll work out twice this week and get them out of here so they can go see their families. Then Sunday night we'll get the total game plan in for North Texas and be ready to roll. Hopefully Friday. We need our crowd there. We're 27-3 here, which is one of the top 5 teams in the country, and it's because of our loyal crowd. Those guys were fantastic Saturday.
They were.
And really, really grateful for them.
Oh, by the way, too, before we let you go, great uniforms, by the way. Love those. We need that. That needs to be an annual thing.
Yeah, very Odessa Permian looking.
Yeah.
A throwback to the guys that know Texas high school football history like I did. I'm like, I think I've seen the mojo out there. It was cool.
There you go. All right, Coach. Congratulations, and enjoy the little time off. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you guys very much. God bless. Birds up.
There you go. That is head coach Jeff Traylor of the UTSA Roadrunners. All guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. All right, when we come back, we'll talk about the world of non-sports. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning as you head into your midday commute. For the most part, most all our major freeway systems looking good. Now we still have this wreck on the east side. I-10 westbound at Ackerman. 2 right lanes are blocked. It's a 15-minute delay. Stop and go from FM 1516. And on 281 northbound St. Mary's, that's a broken down vehicle. That stall now off to the left shoulder. If you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Aaron Lewis and the State Liners. Country boy is all I'll ever be. The American As It Gets Tour. February 6th, Majestic Theater. Am I the only one? Tickets on sale now at majesticempire.com. Take a bullet for being more free at aaronlewismusic.com. I'm American as it gets. Aaron Lewis and the State Liners. American As It Gets Tour.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog at Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible eligible entries, discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
The Gomez Law Firm is proud to be San Antonio's trusted personal injury law firm for the past 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us. Your firm has been fighting for the people of San Antonio since 1973. That's incredible.
There are not a lot of businesses that stick around for even 50 years, let alone personal injury law firms.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then turn to the law firm that will fight for you. Visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. A free drinking water system installed at your kitchen sink with the cleanest, best tasting water you've ever had. Better for your coffee maker, better for cooking, better for everything. Free with the purchase of a Connecticut water softener, but only for a limited time.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
And is the last water softener you'll ever own. Right now, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking water station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call us at 656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
The most wanted beauty gifts of the season just dropped at Ulta Beauty. From exclusive kits by Sol de Janeiro, MAC, and e.l.f. to the cult favorite Hourglass holiday palettes. And let's not forget the stunning Dyson Airwrap in strawberry bronze. These limited editions won't last long, so don't miss out. While you're there, why not grab yourself something special too? I mean, 'tis the season, right? Get all the best gifts all at Ulta Beauty. Head in store today.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Rob's still in here getting all worked up over college basketball. Big day today.
Unveiling.
College hoops, baby.
Hoops everywhere.
You gonna watch? Do you watch all kinds of games? How do you decide what you're gonna watch every night?
I'll bounce around.
Okay.
When we get into February, when it's Big Monday and Big Tuesday, and it's conference games and things like, or February, December in the playoff time or regular season, then I circle games. But right now, I want to see players. It's all about the kids I've watched either matriculate into college and either have moved someplace else a year into their sophomore year in their pro run, or all these freshmen that I've been watching on YouTube for the last 5 years as they've grown their way through. This is a great time of year.
Now you're gonna know. Yeah, that's kind of my blind spot. Is I don't know any of these. I don't know anything about recruiting. I'm pretty good on returning players. I keep track of pretty much everybody, but yeah, I always have to see freshmen before I know what they're all about. But yeah, and now with transfers, it's like, oof, now it's even tougher, to keep up with these guys, because now you got to not only know who's coming in, you got to know who's coming in, who's already played, and what the rotation's going to be.
Be very wary of the fifth-year senior transfer that's averaged about 14 points a game wherever he was.
Yeah.
That guy's about to explode wherever he lands.
Let's take a look at what's going on in the world of non-sports. A a dad, his business began to fail. And he decided, well, the only way to fix this is to start brokering wholesale drug deals.
Well, it's an easy way out.
Yes. He used the handle Lofty Cliff on encrypted communication platforms in order to trade in kilo quantities of cocaine and cannabis. Plots to smuggle shipments in the UK from Holland were also mooted as he and his close allies formed a co-op supply chain. The Liverpool Crown Court heard on Friday that messages revealed when the network was infiltrated by French police showed Pritchard's involvement in arranging the supply of 1.5 kilos of coke and at least 15 kilos of cannabis. He's a 46-year-old man. He was also said to have agreed to a source of a further 5 kilos of the drugs, although it was unclear from his communications whether this transaction with, quote, Red Leader was completed or not.
This was all going on WhatsApp?
Yeah,
okay.
Basically. Jamie Baxter, who's the prosecutor, said he was effectively running around for the supply of illicit substances with contents only known as Ginger Jaw, Destructive Taylor, and Motocross, who were said to have been equal partners in the operation. However,
those are their call names, their code names?
Yes, they didn't use names. They only used these.
What were the names again?
Ginger Jaw.
Okay, so we had a red beard. Next.
Destructive Taylor.
The guy doesn't dress very well.
And Motocross.
Guys obviously rolled in on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I think I can find these guys.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Look for the red-bearded guy who's not dressed well on the back of a motorcycle.
However, their conversations also revealed that they were having issues with the quality of the weed. One customer was complaining that a sample of their drugs was not California strain and instead appeared to be a Spanish-grown haze worth a fraction of the price.
What? Sorry, Spanish weed.
Trying to rip him off, man.
Seeds and stems.
That's it. This ain't Cali.
Are they getting it in bricks? Are they importing it from
This ain't Cali grade, Bubba.
mid-1980s Mexico? Is that what they're doing?
Does it smell like gasoline or orange peel?
This ain't Cali grade. This is a sad story. An American missionary was murdered in Angola. But they've made an arrest in his killing. The church has announced. Bo Schroyer was murdered in Angola.
Yikes.
But it turns out Jackie Schroyer, his wife, is the one who did it.
Oh.
They were one of those missionary couples. Not like, boring sex people, but like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like church people who were going to.
One man's boring as another man's world-class night. Settle down.
Oh, that missionaries. Okay.
Wow.
But yeah, it turns out that it's now been brought to the light that this lady who was on the mission with her husband is the one who murdered him, and then she tried to pawn it off on the Angolans who were around.
So, do we have circumstances in this?
Their details are foggy.
Little sketch.
The details are foggy.
You think if you're gonna commit something like that, if you can't get away with it in Angola, you probably ain't going to be able to get away with it anywhere.
They moved to Angola 3 years ago to serve as long-term missionaries with their 5 children. And the Angolans were the ones who, the detectives are the ones who got to the bottom of it. Was
he eaten by a lion? Like Carol Baskin?
That bitch Carol Baskin? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope not. But that's a real positive. Are there lions in Angola?
It's Africa.
I mean,
there's lions in all of Africa, right? Just
yeah.
like we're all full of, like, there's cowboys everywhere in the United States, so there's got to be lions everywhere there.
The world's a little funnier today than it was yesterday. A woman who pleaded guilty to dressing as a clown in 1990 and murdering the wife of a man she later married was released from prison this weekend. Sheila Keen Warren was released 18 months after she pleaded guilty to second-degree murder for the shooting of Marlene Warren. Keen Warren, who has maintained her innocence even after her plea, was sentenced to 12 years, but she's been in custody for 7 since her arrest, and Florida's law in 1990 allowed significant credit for good behavior. It had been expected she would be released in about 2 years, but now she's out. It says Sheila Keen Warren will always be an admitted convicted murderer and will wear that stain for every day of the rest of her life. She always said she pled guilty just to save time on a sentence. But yeah, Marlene Warren's son and his friends were at home when they said a person dressed as a clown rang the doorbell. He said when the mom answered, the clown handed her some balloons. After she responded, "How nice." The clown pulled a gun and shot her in the face before running away.
Wow. That's some gangland stuff, man.
You ain't lying.
That's a mafia hit.
Yep.
At the time, Keen Warren was an employee of Marlene Warren's husband, Michael, at his used car lot. And since 2002, she's been his wife.
I think I've seen this movie.
Well, it's a good movie. Over the years, detectives said costume shop employees identified Sheila Warren as the woman who had bought a clown suit a few days before the killing. And one of the two balloons, a silver one that read, "You're the greatest," was sold at only one store, a Publix near Keen Warren's home.
If you go get your costume out of town. You
Probably
had a
the best
brilliant
bet.
idea, but you went and go get your. That was perfect.
Yeah. But,
wow.
A killer clown.
Is she
Freedom.
cute?
No.
Is she
Well, she's
marriable?
in her 60s.
Oh.
Gross.
Oh.
That's disgusting, Rob.
I'm not that far away.
I know. It's going to be gross.
You think it's gross on my side.
Yeah. I mean, listen, everyone knows once women hit 60, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Johnny. It's over.
We're only just beginning, baby. Have you been to the Villages? You ever heard of this place down there in Florida? Evidently, they've discovered things.
No.
Nope.
And finally, a drunk airline passenger was wrestled to the floor after sparking a mid-air brawl and trying to hit the crew. What makes this story particularly special, and by the way, this was a flight to Moscow. What makes this story particularly special is this guy was in training to be an airline safety instructor.
Well, maybe he saw something terribly unsafe. What was he wanting to fight for?
I don't think he's going to pass to the next round. I don't think he's going to make the cut.
Was he drunk?
Oh, yeah, he was
okay.
hammered.
Oh.
He was drunk on the flight, began fighting with his colleagues before fellow passengers felt they had to involve themselves. Cabin crew attempted to defuse the situation, but the guy, his name's Ilya, proceeded to try and hit a flight attendant, escalating the disagreement into a huge brawl. He was eventually subdued by cabin crew after two passengers stepped in. But because of his repetitive verbal threats toward the crew, the plane had to make an emergency landing to ensure the safety of the passengers and crew.
Is there an airline level at which you will not go? I mean, there's an airline in Europe called Ryanair. If you've ever heard of it, it is barely above ground. Literally, you think it makes Frontier and Spirit look nice.
Someone had just talked about Ryanair. They had a flight from hell that had to be diverted 36 minutes in after a brawl.
Flights, and you get to the point where you go, you know what? I don't care how cheap it is. I ain't getting on that thing.
Rosia Airlines.
See, would you fly no matter how cheap it was?
No.
Something called Rosia Airlines?
No, I don't fly Spirit.
Well, I mean, if you were on a budget and you're like, this is the only way I'm going to go, and then you go, even at that price, I would rather not go than risk my life.
Yeah, no. If I can't, I mean, listen, if I can't afford a Southwest ticket or a United ticket to somewhere, I've got no business traveling.
Yeah, stay home.
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to go, or maybe there's somebody go. I mean, I've been in a position in my life where I've had to book Frontier Airlines, and I've been on Spirit for other reasons, and yeah, you know what you're getting into, but is there that level you go, no, I'm not going to pay $25, even though I could get there and have it's just not worth it.
I think I've reached that point in my life.
think
and
I
you know
have
what?
too.
I don't. If you're a 20-something and you're flying Spirit, God bless you. You're making the most of it.
Out.
I've worked too hard and too long in my life to be charged for a bottle of water on an airplane. I refuse to do it.
I used to have to travel with a basketball team, and sometimes that's the only flight you can get all your kids on. So I've spent some time on these flights, and they serve their purpose. But even then, I never was worried about crashing. I was never worried about. I was worried more about the passengers than I was the staff. I never felt like a Frontier Airlines safety officer would get drunk and beat up any of the staff on the plane. So I don't know how far I would go to where.
Tony says only the military will contract a Ryanair flight.
That's about right.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit it, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hello.
I think we're having fun.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
Depends on the win this week.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you've been injured in an accident, you know there's no shortage of attorneys who want your business. But when it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years. We've successfully represented thousands of injured Texans, earning over 12,000 five-star reviews on Google. So who is the right attorney for you? Just look at the numbers. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
Howdy, Aggies. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of '98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your bar, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Guys, Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while you're watching sports. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think Dak is going to have higher or lower yards than his stat coming up in this game? You can make money off that opinion at Underdog. Create entries with football, basketball, mix and match. You can do it all. They've even got college sports as well. I've been playing a lot of those college props. I think there is some money to be made in those deals. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm going Wemby to go over on his rebounds. And guys, again, every sport is available on here. It's a blast, and it just makes the games more interesting. This season, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player has to get higher than a half a point to get the win. All new users get a free pick. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash immediately. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon at 3:25. Settling in after 2 on the road. The Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at home.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 2:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, friends, we've made it. Last segment of the show. What do we always do in the last segment of the show, Vic?
We do this.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house, located at 281 in Bitters. I've been running hot at the poker table. I might be back there today. They got a nooner. I might be up there for the nooner.
Nice.
Try and keep it rolling.
So what does a nooner involve?
I mean, it's
Other
just
than a bad decision in a shower.
Well, it's just a no-limit tournament that
Oh, okay.
starts around noon. They call it the early bird. So I try to go make a few bucks. I've been killing it at the cash table. I never play cash. And last night I did. Winner.
Nice.
I mean, I'm just saying. When you're running hot, you're running hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're running a little
when
hot.
you're running
that's for
hot,
sure.
you're running hot. Well, we got plenty to discuss because now we got a whole nother sport to look into now that it's college basketball season.
We will make, listeners, you will make more money with us on college basketball than you will on most every sport. This is the most winnable way to go get money, especially over the next couple of weeks.
I really think it is. Take a look at the top 25. The first game on the board tonight in the top 25 features the Purdue Boilermakers. Zach Edey's Purdue Boilermakers. They are 21.5-point favorites against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, the Islanders. When you lose a guy like Edey, it feels like, first of all, it feels like your tempo is going to be kicked up a notch. You know, obviously you lose a big plodding giant. You probably run more plays per game, but it feels like it's going to take a while for them to figure out where their offense comes from because everything ran through him.
It does. But the thing about Matt Painter and the Purdue basketball program is they've always functioned with a big center and execution. And that's the one thing that's both good and bad with Purdue. I can tell you this, that coming in against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, they are going to be X and O perfect. They might not have the skill guys that they're used to, but Matt Painter will have his team ready to go, and they are not going to get beat. They're not going to make any mistakes. You're going to have to go beat a Purdue team. They're going to bring some athletes. Their forwards are still solid, and those guards can still play. They're 14th in the country for a reason. Take the number against Corpus Christi.
Duke hosts Maine. Duke minus 31.5. That's a bigger number than I'm willing to lay opening day with anybody.
They'll beat it.
You think?
I wouldn't put the money down, but they're playing Maine, and it's Cooper Flagg playing the dudes that he's been playing with. 31 is a number that I like Duke in the number. I honestly do.
Tennessee is a 27.5-point favorite against Gardner-Webb, and that's tough for me to get to because, A, the style of play that Rick Barnes likes is a grimy, slow it down, make it ugly style, but Josiah Jordan-James gone, Santiago Vescovi gone, Dalton Knecht gone. There's a lot of new pieces.
Lost a lot.
I would look to probably fade Tennessee, laying that big of a number. That's a big ass number for a team that doesn't really run away from you when they're firing on all cylinders.
But I would look at first half, see what the line is for first half, because I do think that they'll probably build a pretty healthy lead and let it go away from them late in the game.
Rob's fighting Aggies, 4.5-point favorites on the road at Central Florida.
Not touching it.
I like the Aggies tonight. I like what they're bringing back. Central Florida, I think, is kind of a mess.
They lost their coach. They're reeling now.
It's a weird spot for their program. It's a road game, which that bothers me. But I do think Buzz is going to have his boys ready. They've got way better guard play. I think A&M probably gets this win by 6-7 points tonight.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me is they're more talented. UCF's a good basketball team, but they lost their head coach out of nowhere. A surgical issue, died.
Yeah.
This is their first game there. Ooh.
You think it's like an emotional spot?
Now, if you can withstand what's going to come at you for the first half, because they're going to be inspired.
Yeah.
If you can weather the punches that are coming, which I think they can, that's the only reason I'm staying away from this game. They're 6 points better on a normal night, but after you've lost your coach in your first game at home, it's going to be a very emotional place.
Arkansas Pine Bluff catching just 33.5 at Cincinnati. Arkansas Pine Bluff, at least last year, was horrendous. Is the best way to put it.
They're terrible. Cincinnati, if they can find their jumpers, should roll these guys. The Cincinnati plays the kind of style that beats you by 30 because they never stop. You know, their style is layups, and layups just keep coming when Cincinnati's rolling.
Yeah, and when you're playing these SWAC teams, they're overmatched, quite frankly. Wright State is at Kentucky. Kentucky minus 19.5. I'll plant my flag on this one. I like Wright State to stay within 20. Wright State, one of the better programs in the Horizon League historically, and Kentucky coaching change. You know, things are going to be a little bit different, and when you're built on young players, it takes a while for those things to fall into place. So,
Mark Pope, a local legend. I mean, it's like Texas hiring, you name your favorite quarterback, whether it's whoever it was.
Yeah, a Major Applewhite.
Whatever your guy, whether it's Vince or Major, they bring in Mark Pope. It's a nice transition. It ain't going to be easy, though.
What I know about Mark Pope, though, they're going to run. They're going to go. Kansas hosts Howard. Kansas minus 25.5.
Run with it.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. Houston minus 36.5 against Jackson State.
That's too big.
Here's what I'll say. Find the team total. Pick Jackson State's team total under, because Houston is just going to suffocate you. And teams like Jackson State who don't have elite ball handlers, you are lost against a Kelvin Sampson team.
Boy, I like
lost.
that team. They're going to be fun to watch this year.
Iowa State, there's no line against Mississippi Valley State, which is unfortunate, but that tells you all you need to know about Mississippi Valley State. Marquette, minus 23.5 against Stony Brook.
Stony Brook can put together a basketball team now and again.
Marquette, I'm not thrilled about laying a huge number with them.
Lost their point guard play. They're rebuilding. Although Shaka's a lot like Cincinnati. Their team is built on turnovers and activity. So if they start rolling, they can put it down. But Stony Brook traditionally puts together a basketball team.
But they didn't just lose Kolick. They lost Oso, too, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost 3 dudes, I believe, off that run.
Tyler Kolick, Oso Ighodaro, and I don't know is Cam Jones back?
No, I think he might have transferred, quite frankly.
Okay, yeah, I would look to fade that big number against Marquette, who's normally not a runaway and hide from you team anyway. Florida minus 10.5 hosting South Florida. Don't really have a feel for that one. That's being played in Jacksonville. Ole Miss minus 27.5 against LIU. Alabama minus 26.5 against UNC Asheville. Oats will run it up on you.
Yes, sir.
I like Alabama to roll here. North Carolina minus 27.5 against Elon. Arizona is going to be very good this year again. Minus 33.5 against Canisius. Texas, a 1.5-point favorite against Ohio State. They're playing that in Las Vegas at T-Mobile. You can watch that on TNT tonight. UCLA, a 21.5-point favorite. They're number 22 in the country, by the way, UCLA. 21.5-point favorite over Rider. And the Gonzaga-Baylor, the main event of the evening, at 10:30 on ESPN2. Oh, my gosh. They're going to force me to stay up for this, I bet.
We're getting an extra hour.
I already have money on the game, too, so I know I'm going to stay up.
Just use the benefit of that extra hour that we're not quite used to.
And yesterday, I bet Gonzaga minus 3. The line today, Gonzaga minus 6.5.
Yeah, we go. That's about right.
That is how you do it, friends.
Locally, UTSA Trinity go at it. A couple of local teams unveiling brand new head coach at UTSA. If you were looking for some local.
What do you know about him? You know anything about him?
He played for Nate Oates, coach
really?
of Alabama.
Okay.
Got a little bit of that swag to him. They're going to play a lot of defense. I don't know anything about this roster because everybody's new.
Okay.
I don't know anything about these guys.
What level does Trinity play at?
They are D2.
Okay. And Incarnate Word is
D1,
back.
baby. Yeah,
they're D1 back in the saddle. Yeah. But they will play – no, they play today too. They play Cal Baptist. That's my wife's school.
Well.
Yeah.
The Fighting Deacons?
No, they're the Cal Baptist Lancers.
Teetotalers.
Yeah,
Lancers.
I don't know. But, yeah, nice campus. Very, very nice place. Very, very pretty. So there you go. There's your slate for college basketball. But wait.
There's more.
There's more because we still have the National Football League. The Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a game you'll hear right here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Total 45.5. The Chiefs 9-point favorites. They were 9.5 earlier. I was hoping they'd get to 10, and I was going to take Tampa against my better judgment, but I just don't lay it with the Chiefs with a big number.
I agree. That's Baker. They're going to be in it. It's not like Kansas City's been running away from people.
They don't ever run away from people.
But no wide receivers to speak of in Tampa. I just, the Kansas City defense is so good that we don't really talk about it. We talk more about their coach than the quality of their play. That's a tough ass. I think that Baker's going to get blitzed like crazy tonight. If he can react, it'll be close. If not, that line might be in jeopardy.
In the association tonight, the Bucks. What is going on with the Bucks?
They were almost on my 5 loser group. I can't. I've only seen them play once, and what I did see, I didn't think they looked that bad. So I don't know what exactly is going on.
The hell? Cleveland -7 at home against Milwaukee.
Cleveland's just about the best team in the NBA
Cleveland's
right
good,
now.
man. That's one of the I don't know a lot about the NBA. I was right on that one. That's
so
a good
far,
squad.
so good. They are running smooth, no doubt.
Golden State Warriors 9.5-point road favorites at the Wizards.
Wow.
I get the Wizards suck, but the Warriors -9.5 on the road.
They still got that guy named Steph. He's worth about
right.
25.
Lakers -7.5 on the road at Detroit.
See, that's a number I like.
You like the Lakers or you like Detroit?
I like Detroit here. I'm going to champion Detroit until I'm proven wrong, which I will be eventually. But until then, I still see there's some there.
How about the Celtics laying 10 at Atlanta? I don't know what to make of Atlanta, quite frankly. What's this breaking news? What do we have here, Edwin?
From Shams.
I can't read that. That's not nearly big enough.
Greg Popovich is out indefinitely.
Oh, no. What's going on?
With the health, he was out on Saturday with a health issue before the game, but Mitch Johnson's going to be the interim coach for
an indefinite period, including today and Wednesday.
So not on the roadie. He's probably here then and didn't get on the plane, is my guess.
What do you think, the Rona?
Who knows, man? We were joking pre-show, why wasn't Pop there? And I joked, if you're going to pick a game just on that day, not to coach, knowing that Minnesota had gotten in late, your team was playing pretty well, you wanted to see how Mitch coached, this would be an early season evening to take off. But obviously, tongue-in-cheek, hopefully everything's okay.
Yeah,
it's just a
so.
passing malady and not something we're going to worry about long-term.
Grizzlies -5 at Brooklyn. Grizzlies playing pretty well.
That jaw, if you'll go get a rebound.
One more point, rebound or assist. Give me a break. It made me a Richie. Kings -1 at the Heat.
What's the Kings record?
I don't know, but I like the way I like that raw. I think I like the Kings tonight.
Whatever they are, they're going to get better because once they fully figure out how to implement DeMar, and DeMar is an interesting cat to get
3-3.
They're going to be better because DeMar does not do what the rest of Sacramento does. He's not a run and gun, pull up for 3, live at the rim. He's a mid-range guy that slows your offense down, both good and bad. I mean, we watched it with the Spurs. So once they figure out how to use them, Sacramento is going to be tough.
This is their 4th straight roadie. Maybe I'm not going to back them tonight. That's
that's a big ask.
That's tough. 4 straight on the road. I'll probably sit that one out. Utah +7.5 at the Bulls.
How much you like Zach LaVine?
Not that much. Look at his. As soon as I see Bulls -7.5, I'm like, what the?
It is Utah, and their back spasms might still be there.
Are they playing some German team like Bundesliga? The Knicks 2-point favorites in Houston.
That's a crazy number.
I don't like the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks are very good.
I like Houston straight up. I'll take that one.
Hornets catching 10 in Minnesota. Pissed off Timberwolves team. I imagine they try and put the clamps down at home. The Orlando Magic +12.5 at OKC.
No Paolo.
The Magic are just lost without Paolo. The Thunder can.
And can we give some
and the
love?
Thunder rose. Dun, dun, dun.
Chet is balling. He is balling. I mean, as much as OKC is playing well, Big Chet, and it's not just it's everything. Did you see the highlight of those pocket passes he's dropping?
My man is
cutters?
a versatile player.
I'll tell you what, impressed.
He's never going to get the love because Wemby exists, but their games are so similar, and Chet right now is more advanced than Wemby.
His back-to-basket game.
The ceiling for Wemby is unlimited, and I think Chet is. I think he's still got room to grow, like as a player, but his game is so much more ready now. But man, he's a fun watch, man. A really fun watch.
Really playing well. Fun to watch him go.
The Pelicans 2.5-point favorites hosting Portland. That feels light, doesn't it?
And that's telling me Zion ain't playing.
He's gotta be sitting. Mavs -4.5 hosting the Pacers. The Nugs 10-point favorites hosting Toronto.
I like the Pacers there real quick.
Do you?
-4?
No, the Pacers catching 4.5 at Dallas.
I like the Pacers there.
Sixers +7 at Phoenix. Supposed to be the season debut of Paul George.
Oh,
do you get a little boost from Paulie G being out there?
Well, I'll tell you what. Did you see Joel Embiid go after the writer over the weekend?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's justified in that. If you hadn't heard, there was a writer in Philly that wrote about his brother that passed away in a car accident his rookie year and his kid, and got mad at him for not. He said, you're playing for your brother and your kid. Why don't you come play? Why don't you come show up and stop being out of work and out of shape all the time?
Ooh.
Called out a writer on it.
Sick burn. And finally, San Antonio Spurs, 4-point dogs on the road in L.A.
Let's see. No Kawhi.
No.
So they got to shut down Norm Powell and James Harden.
Mm-hmm. You like the Clippers?
No, Pop. Yikes, that throws it out the window. No, I think the Clippers take this one.
And the most recent betting odds on the presidential election, Trump -138, Kamala Harris +120. Guess we'll find that out tomorrow, too. Morning Huddle 94.1. See you tomorrow.
On your ride to